What's up, everybody? Mr. Right Way here. We are back after a long, a long hiatus, but it's been 2 weeks because I've been traveling. But this is the Right Way podcast. We are listening here on Spotify. Now we're on Apple, and soon we will be on Google. All you Android with the green bubbles, we're going to have some love for you guys. Tonight's episode, we're going to talk about insecurities in gaming. That's right. It's going to be a little spicy conversation. And we got some people here tonight. We have my boy, always, A Omega. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, people? Happy Friday night. Good to be back after this little 2-week hiatus. There's been a lot of news going on in these gaming streets, man, but we're going to hop into it. Good to have y'all here.
Good. And also, too, from the wonderful, the amazing, y'all know I love it, the PlayStation Podcast, we have Mr. Figsy. How you doing, bro?
Dave? Thanks for having me back on, man. It's Saturday morning here, guys. Beautiful Saturday winter morning, and I'm happy to be back on the show.
Oh, man, you live in the future right now. You got to give me the lottery tickets, man. I need those. Man, I'm struggling over here, bro.
I watched all that sport last night. I know what's going to happen.
Oh, my God.
Man, yeah, guys, I've been traveling. If you check on the YouTube channel, guys, I've been doing a lot of travel. So, but good thing it is the podcast is going strong. We're trying to get everything done and just, do it the right way. But guys, I want to tell you real quick, we got a mini kind of sponsor for the show. We got vidIQ. Now, vidIQ has been I'm in the affiliate program. So this will help you out your boy. But vidIQ, if you're a YouTuber and you want to just put your YouTube to the next level, this vidIQ is amazing, guys, because you can go in right here. If we're watching the live video podcast on YouTube right here, we're going to share the screen. We're going to show you guys right here about what vidIQ does. Now, right here on the second side right here, you can get daily ideas, right? So if you're struggling to find an idea for YouTube, like say you need a title, a thumbnail, they're doing AI thumbnails now. AI is taking over the world. You can also check on some of your competition. Just get in there. Look, right here. They already gave me a whole bunch of ideas. So right here it says, look, kiosk scam. Mr. Right Way unearths a scam involving a broken PS3 on eBay. Now, if y'all see the background, I got a PS3 kiosk right here that I got on a later video, but it's not a scam, but it did work. Go back and watch that video. But look right here, it says
that's funny how the first one it recommended was a scam video.
I know, right?
That's I mean, look, I know what it's doing. It's like going for like what would be like the hot ticket like words or key phrases for like video content, stuff like that. So I get what it was going for, but that's kind of funny seeing that.
It is, right? It's so weird, right? But it's cool to say, look, PSVR 2. Now, I did a PSVR 1 video talking about, they buy that right now because it's so cheap. But yes, you can just do all of this. They got like SEO, they got an AI coach right here. You can just do a whole bunch of things on vidIQ. Also, when you're looking on vidIQ, like say you're putting up a YouTube video, it will give you like tags. It will tell you like 1 out of 100 how good is your thumbnail or how good is your title, and that helped me out so much. And also can make you a title, so you can put in there, I need these words, and it help you out. So go and get a discount. You can use my code right here on the screen, guys. It is called vidIQ /Mr. Right Way, and do it the right way at vidIQ. But let's talk about vidIQ. We're gonna transition into insecurities in video game collecting. What brought in this topic is, wow, man, on Facebook. I don't know if y'all guys ever use Facebook. It's pretty.
I'm trying to avoid it.
You try to avoid it. Yeah, no, I try to avoid it now myself either. But it's collectors groups on there, and I have ran to my fair share of just weird collectors. People who value the collection more than anything, who put more stock into life. And I just don't understand what is going on with the insecurity. Sometimes I will be totally transparent. I have had insecurities myself. I see stuff like, oh, wow. I mean, can I get that, or should I show this or something like that? Physically, talk about this, Rico, before we get deep into this.
Yeah, I collected a full PS3 set years ago. And when I was collecting the full set, towards the end of it, I got this thing that I've never had happen to me before, and I started freaking out over games that I didn't own, and finding out when people have doubles and they don't want to sell it to you, you get like, oh, you don't want me to complete my set. It's like this FOMO that you get, and it's an insecurity that I've only ever had collecting that full set. And once I finished it, I got rid of these traits. I didn't, go to bed and start thinking about that rare game that I don't own, or on the drive to work start thinking about these games and I'm not going to get. And yeah, it's a much better relief when you're not collecting with that, like, that whole thing over your head that you need these games.
Yeah, I know. This can go so many ways, like we were talking earlier before we got on, talking about like the FOMO of collecting. What I want to kind of focus on is like, just like I said, other collectors, just you go on and you think you're entering a community, right? You think you're like, oh, this is going to be for the community. I found this, let's share this. But then you get like, why you get this? Or, oh, look what I found. Or I got this cheaper in like 1945. It's like, okay, what are we talking about? Is this a competition or is this community? And I just noticed this more on social media, especially in Facebook groups. That's why I really don't interact too much more in Facebook groups, because, and even on YouTube, you see in the comments, just silly stuff. And usually 90% of this is from grown men. And I just don't really just get it. It's so weird. It's like really weird behavior. And man, have you run into this, Fixie?
Yeah, I do all the time, and in particular, the most common is you'll see a post, and someone's like, second last game I needed for the full subset of blah, blah, blah. And in the comments, the first comment will be, hey, what's the last one you need? I'll help you get it. And then the reply will be, I'm not going to tell you because then everyone will raise the price for me. And it's like, well, that turned weird, because I remember a day where everyone was helping each other complete these subsets, and it was fun.
That is weird. I've seen that before. And I can understand that on some level, because people will try to take advantage. Like, collecting is in a weird spot now because it's seemed like more about money than it is community. Like I miss the days of it's being community. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with money. I'm not against anybody having money or getting money. Money makes the world go round. Money is used for goods and services. Things cost money. But let's take the example yesterday. I'm really still proud about, still shaking about it. If you saw my video, I found Earthbound on the Super Nintendo at Goodwill for like $3. Go back to the video and see if it's real or not. But that's one of those games that it is expensive, but it is fun. But should it be a $300 game? Should it really be? Or and here's me just here you go again. I've been looking for this Mortal Kombat version, the version of Mortal Kombat 3 for a long, long, long time, and it's indeed like in the like rare category. I say in the top 10 of PS4 stuff, of being really, really, really rare, right? This game, and I traded for it. I traded for this game. It's between like $600 and $1,000, depending on where you get it, who sells it. Just depends on a lot of factors. I traded for it. I traded some good stuff for it, but should it be that much? And it's just, it's very weird because like it's just the money thing. Sometimes I think it mess up a lot of like relationships and stuff. Like when I traded that, I tried to make a good relationship with a shop, and I did. But others sometimes who don't really collect, and I really hate saying you're not a real collector, because that's really kind of silly, is saying that you're not really a collector, because everybody collects different. Everybody do different things. But when the money comes and then the insecurities is men, we try to compete against each other and stuff. I don't really see ladies doing it. I don't see ladies doing what we do as men. It's just a guy thing. We get out there and we like, oh, I got this right here. I'm Superman. You don't have it. Then somebody else got it. It's just a weird thing that I just don't understand. I guess I'm coming from a different generation. I'm older. I don't see it, man. What do you think?
Well, you're right though, because what are you really competing on? Who's spending the most money?
Mm-hmm.
That's really all it is, right? Who can find the rarest games is I went on eBay and found this faster than you did.
Yeah, and that's another thing with eBay. Like I had a collector try to sell me a video game, right? And it's supposed to be like rare, supposed to be rare. It's not nothing rare. If anything you can buy online, really, it's not really rare. If you buy online, really, it's not. And it's not really super rare. But you know the story. I'm not gonna call him out, but he knows. He probably listening. He probably hate listening. But it was this Sega 2-pack that I wanted, and this dude had it online for like $1,000, which it was ridiculous, stupid, ridiculous price. And then I end up having my search on YouTube. Woke up one night and somebody had it for like 150, 175. And I said, wow, I said, let me get this. But let me send them an offer. So I sent them an offer like 150. And they took it. And I said, boom. I mean, I don't mind paying that. And like I had the money because I sold some stuff on eBay. Say, and I don't see that pop up. And boom, I got it. And then he just had a hissy fit. Oh my goodness.
Which makes no sense because all you're doing is buying a game, really. Like,
yeah.
At the end of the day. But I can understand the other sense of the rare item. So when I list something on eBay, if I'm listing a game and there's no copies on eBay, I'll price it higher than what I expect it to sell for because it's the only one on there. But then I'll put offers on, and I'm always going to take an offer because I'm reasonable. I'm not going to put something up for $1,000 and want $1,000 for it. I'd realistically, if I've got a $1,000 item, I'll probably take $800 for it.
And also too, so games are worth some money. We get that. It's collectors. We know what we get into. Some things you're just gonna have to pay up for. We understand that. But when you try to gouge the market and then say, "Oh, I'm doing this," and then you try to like, "I'm here for community," but you're really for yourself, and then you get called out about it, don't get mad because you know what you're in there for. You're in it for just Facebook likes and look at me and look at my stuff. It's really selfish. That's why I say sometimes I debated so many times of going like all digital, but I probably never could because I do like my physical games. I really do. They help you out sometimes. You can sell stuff. I just I just sold like 100 PS2 games because not that I needed to, because I just got all these PlayStation 2 and 1, 3D, all these greatest hits games. I got nowhere to put them, man. I said I gotta just clear this shelf off, man. I got too many freaking games, and I had like doubles of other stuff. I said, hold on, I got the Black Label and the greatest hits. I said, I'm doing greatest hits. Let me sell this Black Label. And I did, because a lot of people want the Black Label. But it was just so crazy. I just had all these games looking at like, oh my goodness, I need to get rid of this. I don't need 2 copies of that. That's just me. That's how I collect. People like, you crazy? You got crazy? Yeah, I'm a crazy collector. Omega, what you think,
really
man?
relate to that this week. Like, I went through my PS3 collection this week and I started pulling out variants.
Yeah.
Because, like, to me, at the end of the day, it's the same game. And, like, some of these games, Digimon, for example, I pulled out, and it's going for like $100 on eBay. And it's not a $100 game to me. I'd rather much have $100 sitting in my wallet. So I'm going to sell it.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Makes sense.
And before you answer, Meg, I was want to with that. Another thing is, like, I put something on Twitter at Steve Wright Jr. You follow me on Twitter, but people was talking about. I asked a question like, what would take you to sell your collection? And I got a lot of different responses. You can go back and check it out. But I do think I think the old mindset of the collector is still there. You're like, oh, I want to sell until I die. Not till you die? I mean, really? you that attached to like some plastic? I understand having a game, and it just I look at it, it's a little bit insecure too. Like, I don't need this game to make me feel significant. It's cool the piece to have. Even the darn Barbie game I have, I mean, eventually it's going to leave my collection. I enjoy the community of collecting. I enjoy going to the stores. I enjoy making new content. I mean, content, I do make doing content. I make connections also. And I'm not trying to say my way is the right way, so to speak, or better. I'm just like, as collectors, we can do better and not just be so attached to the physical stuff that we lose sense of reality sometimes. What do you think, Megan?
It's interesting how you guys were saying that, and I'm back, by the way. Internet out, people just had some technical issues, but it was funny how y'all was saying that, because like one of the biggest things that I've personally seen, cause I know Steve knows, but I don't know if you know, Figsy, I'm like really into like collecting GameCube games, like most of my sets back there. The biggest issue I've personally been seeing on my end is anytime I try to go to like either like a swap meet, some type of game store, retro store, or anything of that nature, and I'm specifically asking for certain GameCube games or just whatever I'm looking for, I'm always hit by the question of, oh, you trying to go for a full set, full North American set, and this, that, and the third. I'm the type of collector is like, well, no, I don't particularly want to collect everything in the library because not everything is golden, as I always say. It's just I'd much rather have a entire shelf full of killer stuff than just trash stuff to just fill up my shelves. And they look at me like I'm like a one-eyed Loch Ness monster. It's like, man, what? Why would you want to do that? Like, excuse me.
He's a one-eyed monster.
He's like a one-eyed witness monster or something like that. So why would you want to do that? If you're gonna collect GameCube games, collect the entire set. I'm like, hold on now there, buddy.
No,
like I was telling, like, nah, I don't do any of that stuff. That's anything. Like with Switch, PS4, I got way more PS4 game. I got more modern games than I do retro games, especially like in this particular room. But I particularly don't collect full sets. And the biggest issue that I've been seeing is just people running around saying, well, I need a full set of this, full set of that. It's like, man, I think collecting needs to stop being to the point where you're trying to collect everything and just start getting stuff that you're more passionate about. There's a lot of games that I would say that I've played when I was younger and just growing up now that I possibly would never want to own again, but you know, those memories stay with me, so I don't have to physically own everything like that. So there's just been a lot of discourse that I've been seeing, just people trying to collect full sets and then just kind of lambasting people for not wanting to get like full sets yet, anything like that. So it's kind of ridiculous. It just depends on what neck of the woods you're in on the community, but yeah, there's a lot of weirdos out there, man, especially on Twitter, man. You
Facebook too, bro.
Y'all, Facebook too. Yeah, you put out one comment that can be perceived as either negative or trying to be edgy. Oh man, it's like putting blood in a pool of shark waters, man. It's ridiculous out there. So for those people out there worrying that once you start collecting that you gotta get full sets, don't do that. That's not financially viable. Only get the stuff that you particularly want in your collection. Like all this stuff is here because I want it, not because somebody told me. So it's my little PSA right there.
Yeah, you're spot on, Mega. Like I've got a full set and I regret it because a lot of these games I don't care for. They're insignificant sport games. You know, I look at Madden, I've got every single one. Why?
Oh man, so you got the same game like 15 times over, basically. So that's what I'm hearing.
Hey, like Retro Ness said, and he's out tonight, enjoying with his family. He'll be back next week. Also, Alex and Steve will be back next week. They are doing family stuff. You know, this is summertime, so you know people are gonna be popping in and out the podcast during the summer, but we're still gonna be here for you guys. But he was saying, I find I have some insecurities with how people perceive his collection. What you don't know, he got a lot of freaking Neo Geo games. Dude is balling.
You can say you can tell him catalog, bro.
I know he'll come in and say what it is with my collection. That's what they. But he said, I know not everyone will agree with the way I collect, but there's always someone who dislikes it. He said, can't win them all, and that's right, man. Like people be mad at if you. This is another thing. This is what I can say because okay. Yes, if you collect the Neo Geo, people will perceive that you have money. And you do. They'll just be right there. You have cash to go get a $3,000 game. A lot of people can't do that and they get upset. So they be like, well, if I can't do it, why he doing it? Because you don't know that man's story. You don't know the other person's struggle. You don't know everybody's thing. A lot of people can probably go buy $3,000 or $4,000 games if they want to show them off. But here's another thing too. Just because they can buy it, it's the way how they interact with people and stuff. If you buying like $40,000 games, or just so to speak, like, and then just to show it off to get likes, then it's something insecurity there. But if you just do it because you actually like it and you showing off, you want to be a part of the community, why trying to shame somebody because they got money and you don't? Everybody in a different financial situation. You don't know what that man did. You don't know how he got that money. This the thing is, won't you try to develop a relationship with that person? Ask him, hey, how did you get this money so I can get this? That's a basic of my YouTube channel. I'm showing you what I do to get this. And sometimes good things just pop out. Sometimes I go in a Goodwill, I see an Earthbound. Sometimes I go to a convention and they have a rare game that I can trade. Everything ain't always getting with money, but with knowledge. And people forget that. People forget that they always look at the end product, but they never ask you how you got to the end product. They just get mad because you don't get it. And it's don't mean, I ain't gonna say that part because I don't get canceled. But
Yes.
it just silly this with collecting. I mean, you have a life, enjoy it, but why you spend all that energy and madness and being angry because you couldn't buy a game to somebody else? Who cares? So what? Somebody can buy $1,000 game and you can't. That don't make you insignificant. Y'all on the same level. It's just different levels of different folks. I mean, who cares? Who really cares? You don't have to keep up with the Joneses, as we say in our culture. You don't have to keep. That means if you ever heard to keep up with the Joneses, that means you don't have to buy what the next person is buying next to you. You see somebody got a car or a big nice SUV, you want to go get that. You know, don't worry about that stuff. Just worry about how you can be happy. Because a lot of us collectors, we got a lot of stuff out here. We always, and that's one thing I get tired about. I'm going on tired. That's one thing I hate about the talk about the Switch, the new Switch. Everybody's so weird. I want the new Switch. I want the new Switch. Play what you got and be happy. It's like a lot of people ain't happy. Is that kind of insecurity? It may be. Just be what, like me, my little nephew had a little video, and he was talking about. I asked him directly, "Do you want a new Switch?" He thinking about a brand new big Switch because he think he want a brand new like OLED. He ain't thinking about no super Switch or whatever. Because he got a Switch Lite. He wants something he can dock. That's what he thinking about. He wants something he can play on his TV. We have been mad and we got that, but we want something else. And a lot of us still got Zelda OLEDs in the box of Pokemon or whatever in the box that we ain't playing. And my little nephew, he want a brand new Switch.
Yeah, still playing that thing, man. And look, that's the thing about kids, though. It's like they are able to thrive just by giving them like the most basic necessities. Like you can just look at other videos, like kids around the country and stuff like that. There's kids that are playing with like dirt, reading books, and just think it's the best thing in the world. So you give them something they can enjoy for like a certain amount of time, or just for hours on end. Hey, look, they're gonna rock with it. I know,
boy, man.
Because even when the newest stuff was coming out, like when the PlayStation was brand new, I was still playing Super Nintendo, having time of my life. So
man, man. Dude, before I got Sega Saturn, I was playing the heck out of Donkey Kong Country, bro.
Yes,
and Super Mario RPG. That was just the end of the life cycle. I was like, these games are dope, man.
Yep. We're playing them games today, having a blast.
That's the best thing too, because like even when the newest stuff was, it's kind of like this generation too. Even when the newest stuff comes out, when the old generation is phasing out, some of the best games coming around that time. So that's like some
you
of
can
the
play
best you actually
get for best part. Like Wii right now, you can play most of the Wii games for under $20.
Bro.
Yep.
Hey, that Wii collection, I'm telling you, boy, that Wii people are collecting sets for the Wii right now, and by 10-15 years, that's gonna be like the new NES. I don't want to get on there because I ain't got no space to put it, but I can respect that, man, because some of these Wii games are starting to go up, and because just think about the Wii, right? You used to say that. I'm glad you said that, Fixie. The Wii brought in a brand new generation of not collectors or gamers, right? Casual gamers, right? And then they turned them to the Switch. That's why the Switch is so successful, right? Well, I would say successful because of the Wii U, but still, it took them a little fallback to get there. But anyway, the Wii brought so many people. Everybody had a Wii. Remember when the Wii came out? It took like 3-4 years for people to get Wiis. I remember that first 2 years. It was that first year the Wii came out, right? And then like the second year of the Wii, the second and third year Wii was crazy because everybody wanted a Wii. A Wii, right? I mean, everybody wanted. It was like the PS5 situation all over again.
You guys remember Christmas 2006? So people were paying like $600 to get Wiis.
Yes, and I also remember people paying like upwards to $1,000. They were getting a full box of rocks instead of a Wii or a PS3. I saw that on eBay. Are people like literally pushing people in the polls and getting into fights and like inside Best Buy and Targets? Man, those were some good times, but it was violent times too. I don't know why I still don't vividly remember that. I always remember the negative stuff. Yeah, people was fighting and getting shot, shanked, and robbed. It was like, oh, we got 60 people standing outside with $4 in their pocket. I'm running every single one of them people right now. So,
also too, hey, Oh, hold on. Just I want to say, Don, thank you so much for the $5 donation. That is pretty sweet. He said preach. And so he agreeing with what we all saying. And I know it's gonna be a spicy topic tonight, but yeah, it just oh my goodness. Like here, like Shredder, he's saying like they could produce the Wii Fast. They couldn't. Everybody wanted and say, like, yeah, the Wii and DS have a lot of shovelware, but man, y'all, my goodness, y'all guys. Whoo, that was some good times. That was people, like I said, people run over each other on Black Friday to get a Wii.
I've been seeing a video. Yep, they're still up on YouTube. If y'all go and type on YouTube right now, Black Friday 2006 Wii, like there's like a bunch of videos up there, like dozens of videos.
There was a radio channel that did a competition. It was called "Hold Your Wii In for a Wii."
Yeah,
and like everyone had to hold their pee in, and one lady did it, and she ended up dying.
I heard about that. About the woman who drank the water too on one of those shows. Like you had to drink a whole bunch
of water,
like a gallon of water, and like drowned or something like that. Like,
no, that was part of it. They had to have like a liter of water every half an hour.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, crazy. And Leafy said collecting has been to be competitive. It seems like to becoming a completely separate, growing activity actually collecting. Yes, no, that is it's crazy. Like the insecurity leads to competition, and I don't like think deep into it, but whenever everybody want to show off what they got brand new, especially in Facebook groups or online. But then when somebody put like, oh yeah, I got this back in 1942 for 2 cents, who cares? I mean, just let the person shine. Let me enjoy my moment. It's all this stupid. Oh, I remember getting that for like $5. Good. Where's it at now? Oh, I don't have it no more. Oh, why are you talking? Shut up. Just leave. It's so much competition. Then like you do so like this PlayStation Pursuit I'm doing. I had other collectors. Why are you doing this? Because I want to. I think it's pretty cool, and I think I want to have that. Left in history on YouTube for other collectors later on, or I'm holding my list to myself up. Your list is wrong. I mean, you ain't the only person got a PlayStation 2 list, brother. Other people got stuff. It's just so silly stuff like that. Like, you can't collect it because I already got all of it, and I don't care. I mean, people want to help each other. When you start being like that, I'm gonna keep stuff to myself. It just really childish and show you how insecure that person is.
It's ironic, honestly, because the greatest hits means a game made 500,000 copies. Yes. So, like, what part of being rare does that? It doesn't. It should be plenty of copies out there of every single game.
Yeah,
and let's be honest, like. It's all diverged to a lot of nowadays. It's just a lot of pocket watching because especially you've been getting comments like that, and like I've been seeing stuff like that around the community too, to where people is like, oh, I got this game from a garage sale or a mom and pop shop $15. Is I need you to show that receipt. So now we got receipt poachers out here. Now we got people calling other people out saying, oh, I got this. Mine's is in even better condition. It doesn't have no breaks, no tears in the seal or anything like that. Why don't you compare yours and mine? I'm like, bro, these are just plastic with chips with silicone in it. It's not that big of a deal, bro. It's kindergarten antics, I've been calling it. Elementary school antics. That's what it is. Grown men complaining about pieces of plastic, bro. That's the time we're living in.
Shout out to Life of Tay Gaming. He used to be on the podcast. He going for a full GameCube set. Pray for him. He loves the expensive stuff. But yeah, y'all, that's crazy.
Appreciate it, bro.
What kind of what this is supposed to be community, right? We're collectors, right? This is supposed to be collectors, supposed to be community, right? But you're looking at your fellow man, your fellow woman, and you're like, oh, you didn't get that. Let me check your receipt. You actually gotta make somebody and then also too, I feel a lot of times if I don't show the receipt, people won't believe me. That's why I put it in the videos and so because people won't believe, oh, it's fake. You ain't did this. Why do I have to lie for some? Y'all should know my reputation. I don't have to lie for nobody. But it's been that way so long on the internet that people will lie for attention. And it's so sad. It's crazy. Can we just focus on the community? It used to be by the community before it got to this. I don't want to blame resellers or nothing like that, but it's really not resale's fault. It's just the way it is. You know, people trying to get some money, bills are high. I get it. bills don't stop coming. You know, hey Mega, you got you a brand new house, so you know the bills ain't stop coming. You know, Fizzy, I know your situation. You know, everybody here got something. You know, got to pay some bills. A lot of you guys out there working hard, paying bills. You want to enjoy some good games. You know, you want to find stuff. You want to get some good games, but you don't want nobody like, oh, show me your receipt because you got this. Why do I need to prove that I just take my word as a human, you know, as a fellow collector? It's so dang stupid, y'all. It just been frustrating for me for so freaking long. So if I'm coming off negative on the podcast, y'all listen here on Spotify, on YouTube, on Apple, on Google soon, please forgive me, but I'm just telling you, it's been frustrating. I've been talking to other collectors about this because I've been wanting to talk about this for so freaking long because I see it all the time, especially in these damn Facebook groups. Oh my goodness, y'all take over.
I'm surprised you using the word community, Steve. I thought you got the memo. It's no longer community; it's community. Hey, look, it ain't about the collective whole. It's only about something that's like super rare, or expensive. If it's about me. None of y'all motherfuckers matter, all right? None of y'all are right. I'm just saying.
You brought up something before talking about when you were talking about NES, how he's got a big collection and things like that. What some people don't understand is maybe he bought this collection 10, 15 years ago when video games weren't really expensive. There's YouTubers out there that have full collections of multiple full sets, but they were collecting 20 years ago when these games weren't that expensive. They're not millionaires. They're just your average guys who got into this at the right time, you know, and people are out there thinking that they're rich and things like that, and no, they're not. They got in at the right time, you know.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing I was going to add to that, because a lot of people have been doing this for decades before either any of us was doing this. So there's a subset of people that were collecting like a lot of in mint condition box games, stuff like that, full collect series, and then they were just sitting on it because there was this documentary that came out. I'm not sure if you guys watched it. It's on YouTube. This one guy, he was buying pretty much every single game that came out.
I know the
guy. Okay, so you probably already seen it. But yeah, he was collecting pretty much every. I can't remember if he was in the U.S. or a different country.
He was in the U.S. and he was buying sealed boxes of NES games, like 6 at a time. And it came in like 2014. He pretty much had the whole library sealed boxes, so 6 sealed games of every single game. He had 2 full boxes of stadium events, so he single-handedly drove the price of stadium events down. It was crazy,
and that's why people get mad about that too. Hey, there we go. Another thing, another insecurity in video game collecting is my collection is worth X. Because let's be real honest. How many people will be collecting if these games didn't have zero value? If all your games didn't have no value, would you be showing it on Facebook? Would you be collecting it? Would you be trying to fight and scam other folks, the people who do that, other stuff? If it was worth, these games weren't worth diddly squat. That's why a lot of people still shooting fireworks in my neighborhood. God dang. Anyway, that's crazy. I don't know if I can hear that.
10 days ago.
Man, can I hear that?
Man, they was doing
people still shooting fireworks.
They were doing that 3 days before 4th of July and 5 days after 4th of July, brother. You ain't the only one that's happening to you. Trust me.
I hope it rains. I wish the storm come out and start raining.
Especially if you live in a predominantly black neighborhood like myself. So, bro, that
hey, I live in a mixed neighborhood. There's black and white folks here, but like
shit.
Other neighborhood is kind of black though. On the other side. So I was like, hey, bro, sit that stuff. No, it's like they just mess me up. Anyway, what the hell?
We don't have them here. They're illegal where I am.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fireworks.
But no, y'all. It just like your collection wasn't worth anything. Like, will people recollecting? I don't think so.
So that's why I started collecting. I never got into. I started collecting in 2014 because I wanted to play PS3 games, and they were $7 each. So I was buying as many as I could. The more games I bought, the more I played, and that's what I got into collecting for. I never thought about the money until years later, until like the prices started going up.
Oh, look, Lee just said something. He said, fascinated what you guys think are greater games. Hey, look, I'm blessed to have greater games because Waddle reached out to me and graded these games for free. Well, this one free. Only games I paid for 3 great games. It was CGC to get this Barbie because one day I'm definitely going to sell this collection. But go see the Barbie movie. We're gonna see me and my lady gonna see the Barbie movie. Everybody say it's pretty good. And John Cena in it too. So anyway,
John Cena. I
got John Cena.
Ooh.
But I didn't see him in the movie.
Yeah, John Cena's a mermaid in the movie. It's a crazy mess. But no, these great games right here. I would say this is a new water case. I would definitely say go with CGC if you're gonna do great games. My philosophy now has changed because, especially with the water stuff, right? And I know Retro Ness is on. He does a lot of great games, right? But I really do think if you have doubles of graded seal games, lock that stuff in a case and sell it, and then go get you some more games for some money one day. I'm doing that. That's what I'm saying. And the way the water stuff, it was kind of shady, but greatest games ain't going nowhere. They ain't going nowhere. So you might as well like get on board and try to sell. That's another thing too. Like people like, oh, you do this, you do that. Like, just stop it. It's really all about money and insecurities. Like mostly attention. If you got a game and it gets you attention, and then some collector like, well, I'm not getting that attention. I need more attention over here on me. And as we live in this era right now of like, I need attention. Like Roman Reigns, acknowledge me. I need some acknowledgement. You
acknowledge me.
Yeah, acknowledge me.
Hey, look, attention is the new form of currency, man. Like that.
It is the new form of currency.
That's the new status
quo. Want that. People.
It's almost like people need the. I bought something expensive. I now need to share it and get all those likes to make me justify that $200 I just spent on this game that I don't really want.
It is, and also, you know what, Lo? That's another thing. People be buying games they shouldn't be buying, and I will be totally 100% honest. When I got here to Texas like 6 years ago, and I started finding game groups, I kind of got caught up in that. I started to like buy games so people can notice me, and I had to like stop. It kind of stopped after I bought my house. I'm like, hold on, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah,
like, I'm spending like I was spending bill money to like impress people who don't even like me, and still I'm like, man, F that. I'm not doing that no more. And I know if people be honest with themselves, they had done it too. I have done that. I have bought games just to put it on eBay, put it on Facebook, on a Facebook group. They got like 40 active people just to say, oh, congratulations. What? No, I was just so stupid. But I've been through that, so I can talk to that. A lot of people won't admit that, but I've done that. I'm like, why? Why am I doing that?
I was about to say everybody goes through those. Oh, look at this brand new such and such that I got. I paid this amount of money for it. Everybody look at me. Please look at me. Like, look, I've been through that. Pretty sure Fixie's been through that. I know you've been through that, Steve. That's just one of those things that come to the territory when you like first start getting collecting. You want to start showing people that you collect these things. You have a passion for the hobby that you love so much. So everybody that I personally know has been through that at least once or twice in their life. So like, trust me, you ain't the only one. Like, because I remember I used to fall in that same hamster wheel like some years ago when I used to be collecting my GameCube games. So, I got this one. After a while, I was like, man, I just want to start getting stuff that I like. If y'all like it, then rock with me. That's cool. But if not, shit, I'm just gonna keep doing what I do anyway, man. So,
thank you. Right,
you've been through that.
Because I can take it to another thing that I used to do, and Steve, you might be able to relate to this, making videos. Okay. So I used to make my videos coincide with my pickups. You know, it would be, all right, I'll buy all these games, and then I can make a video on the Friday. And then if I get games arriving on the Monday, that's another video. And today it's like, you know, I've got games. I'll just pull them off the shelf and show my own games. I don't need to go and spend money to make content or feel happy.
Yeah.
I've already got.
Oh, I used to do that a lot too. It's like I purposely went out to find a game that I didn't have that was like over $100 just so I can make like some type of post about it. I'm glad. I'm glad them days is done because what I got now, whew, shit, ain't gonna happen.
All my posts now are games I've had on the shelf for years.
And look at this, Life of Tay Gaming, who we always joked with him when he was on the podcast. He loves the finer things in life, the finer games, the expensive games. We say I 100% been in that boat too. It's good that, you know, I think all collectors go through that era of I need to buy this to show somebody else to get some. And you know what? It is some truth to that. It is 100% some truth to that, because a lot of people do like seeing those rare, expensive games. Like the video today about the Earthbound, it did really good. It did really good video on YouTube. A lot of people are liking it, but the story behind it, I think, is even cooler because like when we'll go watch a video, but it just happened, and then I text Mega and Ness and Steve and Alex, and everybody like, "What the heck?" I was like, "Dude," and I wasn't even trying to film that day. I was like, "What is going on?" It's like, why is this happening? So
those are usually like the best videos to make because if just because I know you got a lot of stuff in the pipeline, and then stuff that you just found out, like when you found that, it's like, damn. Like what's the chances of me finding an Earthbound in a Goodwill in fairly good condition, especially knowing how much it goes for? I mean, it's loose, but at the same time, that's what like a $400-$500 game, something like that.
Just no, it's a $300 game.
$300, but that's still impressive though for what you got it for. So that's
I know, right?
That's still impressive, bro.
And then the condition is in like I'm proud about it. I think this is gonna be one of those games I'm gonna keep in the collection. Just for the cool. Just like when I found. Just like when I found that seal Smash Brothers, I went and got that seal. Got it graded. I probably never will sell it, but that stuff
it just a very hard time finding or trying to replicate.
Well, it's not just Earthbound to you; it's got a whole story attached to it.
It do got a story to it, and you know what? I actually kind of like the faded cover of this. It's like it's been through war, but it's a real card opening. Just it's freaking amazing. Like, okay, when I see this, like, oh, this was meant for me, and I always say, like, whoever you believe, I believe in God, but like, say the universe works and stuff. If you're good, you got good intentions, you got a good heart, good stuff is going to happen to you. Very good stuff is going to happen to everybody. You just got to go out there and hump, and a lot of people, people always ask me, like, Steve, how you find this? You got good luck. You do this. It's two things I do, and you don't have to follow this. This is what I 100% believe as a human. Is I always pray to God, and I always say, God, just let me find the desires of my heart. Let me, I like video games. I like going out. Let me find some cool stuff I can put on the video. And then too, I just treat people respect and give people credit when they needed credit. And I just go out there and do it. I just go out, and also too, I work my butt off. People don't see the $40 I be putting in my gas tank twice a week. They don't see that. They don't see me driving, flying, going to play. They don't see the plane. They just see the finished product. So a lot of people always, when they see the finished product, they don't see the behind the scenes. Gas is expensive, even though my car takes not unleaded. They don't take premium, and I got a pretty nice car, thank God. But people don't see me people see I spend at least a month, about $200 in gas a month. And that's and I put that in budget for what I make on YouTube. So people don't see that stuff. But when I find
Texas is a big state, man. You gotta think about that. You gotta do all that driving. It's like, especially in that heat. And that heat, oh brother, it can't be me, bro. I already got like 4 shades dark. Is it like since the summertime, man? I was like, bro, I need to chill out the sun, man.
Hey, look, Ness said he left the house when he saw it in the chat that he left that Earthbound. I knew because me and Ness are kind of the same area, so we kind of cover the same Goodwills. And he left as soon as I saw it in the chat. I knew he was gonna leave, but he did that.
Mitch at the door.
As soon as Ness saw that post, he was like, "That's
no
vintage.
No,
I'm going right now." He said, "That's a vintage car right there."
Yeah, he did. I was like shaking like a crackhead. I was like, oh, I couldn't even tell. Like, y'all guys, y'all won't believe this. I was like,
are you filming it and it's all shaking?
I was shaking, man. I'm still, every time I think about that, I get a little shakes. I'm like, oh Lord, oh jeez.
Hey, see, I meant to ask you in the group message. You opened the cartridge, did you sniff it and be like, vintage?
No, I didn't do that. I should have did that.
You should have dabbed your pinky across the circuit board. Like, that's some good stuff right there, man. That's legit right there. That's legit. Because when you find stuff like that, you gotta be like, "Am I being punked?" Hold on 1 second. Let me do the drug test real quick.
Is someone around filming?
I had a few out of body experiences, and that day was one of them. I got in the car, and I told my lady, I said, "She said, why are you shaking?" I said, "I found this game." And she's like, "What game? What are you talking about?" I had to explain it to her and had to show her. Her eyes got like being like, because she was helping me film. She also too, she's a photographer. Great. She out doing something right now, but with her friends and stuff. But it was just so funny. I was like, said, that is crazy. And we be praying together about stuff, and said, look at God. I said, yeah, look at God. God is good, boy. I was like, man, that's I like when stuff like that happen. And those kind of stories don't happen all the time. You will go, and Ness probably can tell you. You can go, and Mega can probably tell you. Everybody on this podcast can tell you. You'll go out 7 days a week, and for like 2-3 weeks, and maybe hit something like that once every 4 months, probably something big like that.
My hobby once a year. If you're lucky,
once a year sometimes. It don't happen. So when it does happen, it needs to be celebrated. You want your flowers. You want to celebrate. You want to share. And then when you get insecure foods, say, "Oh, it ain't real." I really haven't had that. I had one, but I had to block them. So, but you want to celebrate. You want to, and also you want to share with the community and let them know, like, hey, I did it. You can do it too. It's never like, I never want to make anybody in the community feel like they can't do it. Like, look, guys, if it happened to me, it can happen to you. Keep going out there. But a lot of people just give up, because I understand it's hard. It's hard going every day. I don't do it no more like I used to. I don't go every day to Goodwill because it's gas, and then it's hot here in Texas and in the South, really. And you don't find something. You got other competition. And then I build my own competition with the YouTube channel. It's just hard. It very is, but.
And I think that's the key, is the persistence. Like, that's what a lot of people don't realize, is they go out once, don't find anything, and don't go out again. Well, Steve goes out 10 times and doesn't find anything, and then goes out 11 times and finds something. That's what you got to do.
And then you got to wake up early, and when I love to sleep, y'all. I'm blessed to have like a full-time YouTube. I don't have to do nothing but YouTube. Thank God, the military take care of good of me, but I can get up, make my coffee, and go work on videos all day. But if I really want to go hunt, I gotta wake my butt up. I want to get out the bed, and I like, the video's done for the day, so I don't have to do it. But if I really, I had that, let me get up and go. I just felt that today was going to be good. That day was going to be good, and man, it was right. And we got Radical Reggie. He's talking about physics. What's up, Radical Reggie? I'm trying to get Reggie on the podcast. He up in Canada, just balling out in Canada, man, like a superstar and stuff. I know he was on a PlayStation podcast and stuff. So Reggie, welcome, man. OG collector.
I saw him on a video with Happy Console Gamer too. So shout out, man.
Yeah. He was on there too. So yeah, shout out, Reggie. Thanks for coming through, bro.
I got the best vibes watching that.
But he
guys.
I know he got some stories about like running to insecure collectors, like everybody. I always see the comment about, and he probably can never get over about the popsicle thing. People always try to talk about that, like, man, let's let that man live his life, let that man do his stuff, and he's done it good. He ain't like me. I will say something back. He just ignore people, but so I'm learning from him just not to say stuff to like critics and people like that, because especially, and this is a different thing, he said I'll be home in 40 minutes. You guys are still on. We probably would be on, man. We'll be talking crazy. We ain't got to that second topic, so this might be a long podcast because it's already been an hour of talking about insecurity. So guys, we're still going, but people can talk about that. It just so. I wish the community can be a lot better about embracing and celebrating everybody else's win. We all can win together. We all can help each other. Look, it's a freaking plastic cartridge. Look at this. And if you want to buy 2 or 3 games of the same thing, okay. And I actually got, this 2 versions of Sonic Mania, but I actually forgot I ordered one, so I got to use one for trade. But these games right here, y'all, are plastic, and then they plastic with data on it. If you really be crazy, if you really want to be real about it, the digital stuff is coming. It ain't stopping. Look at the PC. Look at the Steam Deck. Look at all the stuff. I always look at my nieces and nephews. They don't give a crap about no physical games. They want it fast. They want it now. They want to play, and they want to just throw it away. Us old dudes, when we talk about, I want my collection, and rightfully so. We want to be in. We want to be in, do this stuff, but Yo, we just got to remember of why we did this in the first place. I remember the good times of getting my PlayStation 1 from Blockbuster Video and sitting there with me and my cousin and just like sitting there crying because I couldn't believe we were playing the next generation. We got the first, we had to sign up. We had to sign up to rent a PlayStation. We had a list and we got picked out a list of 40 people to rent a PlayStation 1 and 3 games and 2 controllers.
Yeah, VIP list for the stuff like that back then.
Yeah, and I aired in Blockbuster, man. I aired in Blockbuster because we had one major Blockbuster in Pine Bluff, and everybody rented there. And when they had the PlayStation came out, everybody went there and lined up like a GameStop, and you had to put your name. Say, okay, what this Blockbuster said we're doing, and I remember playing this day. Like, I also too, here's my Blockbuster Video Game World Championship 2 card that I competed in back in the day. That's showing you how much I've been doing this. But we had to physically sign a piece of paper, name, number, all that kind of stuff, and they pick. And I think they gave me a little leeway because I always come in there and they knew me, and I ended up getting a job there too. But still, I got picked.
2-4 special, baby.
Yeah, I know. I got picked. So and I remember the pleasure, the honor just to get picked of getting a PlayStation 1, Ballerina Toshina, Jumping Flash. I can't remember the third freaking game that I rented, but we got to rent it for 5 days. And I think it was like $39 or something like that. It was like $29, $39. It was something around that area, but we got to keep it for a full week, bruh. I didn't sleep for 2 days. Me and my cousin had the time of my life. And it was so good. And I was like, I actually, like, when I got it, I started like tearing up. I was like, I cannot believe that we got picked for this. But it was just, people don't understand where you come from, man. People just see it so easy to jump on. And shoot, back in the day, that stuff was hard.
Mm-hmm. Imagine how much game time that one PS1 from Blockbuster would have had over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, being rented out to different households, and then eventually they end up selling it. It's all right. Well, you can buy the system now. It's had like maybe 400 owners or something like that.
Yeah,
it's a little bit for the wear, but she still works good. She still works good.
Bro, most people leave it on overnight.
Yeah, I know, right? It just, people get that gaming collecting is a privilege. Everybody can't do what we're doing, really.
Shit,
a lot of people can't do that.
Shit, gaming in general is a privilege. Like all the stuff we got around here, you gotta have this in order to even get access. And even then, you gotta have this, and you gotta have time too. So,
you gotta pay your bills too, like all this stuff, electricity, all these lights and stuff. Thank God that Texas got pretty significant bill. They need to change their structure, but my bill don't go over $150 in the summer. It probably don't go get close to $200. But still, you gotta have money to pay them bills to keep them down games on. And your battery is gonna run out on your phone eventually,
And you also need the space. Like I know so many collectors out there that don't store their collection because they just don't have the room. It's in boxes or they got kids, so just store it away until the kids grow up and leave home. So we're all lucky that we can display ours.
Hell, before we even got this house, like I was telling Steve in the group like a couple of weeks ago, I had to sell some of the stuff because I had a lot more stuff than I got here. But as we were moving, it's like, man, I don't want to carry all this stuff, man. So I had to end up it was mainly stuff that I didn't want anymore, and I just had sitting on the shelves for years on end, like a couple of collection editions, a couple of loose games, stuff like that. So it lightened up the load to moving. So that's definitely a good point, because especially when it's time to like relocate, man. I was seriously contemplating on getting rid of those GameCube games because that box alone was like damn near 200 pounds. It's a lot, bro. It's a lot.
And we're gonna talk about it later on in the conversation. But Super Marcy says physical media needs to be preserved. I'm happy to see all the awesome fine people get, and we're gonna talk about that later on in the podcast. But we're in such a privileged state right now, and like just collecting, because like I said, this hasn't always been popular. Games used to be like Nintendo, like the meme says about your mom. Everything's Nintendo, and it really was like people say, "Oh, you playing them kid stuff?" People just don't. I still to this day, like older people, I had to sit there and explain to them when I'm finding games, especially like when I go like the Goodwill, what they don't understand. Like, why are you buying all these kids? All right, man. You gotta understand these games are significant. These games help people with mental illness and stuff like that. It helped through COVID. A lot of people don't understand that. And then you don't just need a bunch of people on Facebook criticizing you. And as I said, I stopped using. I really stopped blocking more people. I hate to block people, but I do it to protect my mental health, because when you want to celebrate a game, you get something really cool, and you find a good deal, you want to be celebrated. Everybody wants that. Like I was saying earlier, we just buy games so we can get that, get that. But man, I'm a blocking machine. My block pages on my social media like a phone book.
Damn.
He said, "Duh." Physical. He started reading. He said, "Duh, like a Facebook, but it looked like a phone book." We'll call it the Facebook now.
Well, my black list look like the Declaration of Independence. Like, you see so many like different analogies and stuff in there. It's like, what'd you block this person for? Hey, look, I had a little event back at Summer Game Fest last year. I had to block like a whole slew of people, bro. It was ridiculous.
Man, I don't know.
You ain't the only one. You ain't the only one.
My Facebook groups,
my block game strong.
People block, but I don't block people myself. I just ignore everyone.
Yeah, you got a good Facebook move, man. And I'll just say, guys, if you haven't checked out the PlayStation podcast, check it out. I'm a little biased because I mean, PlayStation is my preferred number one system, but it really good. He has some good conversations. Y'all go check him out, man. Fitzy is doing a good thing over there. You know what? Like 60 episodes in? What?
Yeah, 60, 65.
Dang.
Starts tomorrow.
Yeah, dang, look at you, bro. Look at that.
That's more than a year of dedication right there, brother. Congrats.
I know, right? And he got a little cool song that comes on it again. Who recorded that song, man?
I'm loving social media again, doing the show, so it's heaps of fun.
Who did that song?
That's Will and Joe.
That's good. That's pretty good.
That's awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome. Yeah, y'all can check that out. But let's get off the negative train. But I'm glad thank y'all for letting me get that out. We spent like almost an hour talking about this. So if you came in for that, you got your money's worth, people. Now let's go to the limited run showcase. My goodness gracious. I'm mixed about this because I am still waiting on my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge Cowabunga, or whatever collection is, whatever collection, that big $200 collection. I'm still waiting on it. Limited run. Where is it at? And also, too, guys, hey, we got like over 70 people watching, and we only got 4 people like. YouTube will love you and help your brother out. Hit that like button right now. If you're on YouTube, hit that. If you're on Facebook, hit that like button. If you're on Twitter, retweet this. If you're on Twitch, retweet it. Do it. Help your brother out, because I'm telling you, this podcast is going places. And if you're on Spotify, if you're on any social network like Spotify, YouTube, listen on YouTube podcast now. Google, if you listen on Apple, make sure you give us a 5-star rating to help us increase to get the word out, because this podcast is about gaming and lifestyle, and we have some great conversations on here, and we just wanted the community to show some love and give back, and we're really happy about it. But like I was saying, we're getting back here to the limited run showcase. So I'm gonna let the guys take I'm gonna let Fizzy and Mega take this on. But what I seen, because I've been so busy, I saw the Shantae and the GBA cart, which I'm gonna get that, and I saw the Turtles, the LPs, but I'm so like scared of just getting it, because it's gonna be like next year before we get all this stuff. And then also too, Gex is back, man. My boy Gex. Everybody got this.
Too.
Gex. Yeah, what y'all want to start out with? What do I want to talk about?
I think the show itself, like they did a 90s style show with like a fake crowd and things like that. It was funny,
they're so silly.
A little bit corny.
Yeah, so they always been corny like that. They did that last year.
I enjoyed it though. Like Tomba, we're getting Tomba.
Yeah, Tomba. Yes.
So many big titles got announced.
Dude, that game is still what, $150 game for both of them. If you buy both, you're gonna spend $200. So that's like Super Mario RPG coming back out. And it's not probably gonna kill the price of the Super Nintendo game, but I'm happy. Like I said, Jason said Tomba is back.
Let's go.
Guys, talk about it, man. Y'all have seen more of this than I have, but I just seen those three because they've been on my Facebook feed, on my YouTube feed, been on my Twitter feed, my Threads feed. We'll talk about Threads later, but yeah, what's up? Let's talk about this.
Mega Clock Tower is exciting too. It's a game.
Oh, Mega jumped out. He'd be right back. He'd been having internet issues and stuff. He looked and like boom, it failed. So he'd be right back. But yeah, so Fizzy, talk about it, man. You said you like how the podcast, or not the podcast, but how the show was. You say it was corny, but what are you excited about right now?
I honestly, like, it blew my mind on what the titles that they announced and the engine that they're using. It's giving limited run options to so many old games, and they're really going back into like the PS1 library, and they're going, all right, people can't play Tombora because it's too expensive, and Clock Tower and games like that, and they're actually giving us games that like I want to play, but I can't play them because I don't want to spend $300-$400 to get these games. So I'm excited. It's awesome.
I know, man. It's kind of funny that I had, or it'll be out about like a month though, but I went to VidCon and I visited this store right here, Retro Respawn, and at Retro Respawn they have a Gex statue in the store, right? So I reposted that. Yeah, they had a Gex, and I'm like, man, because it's something about Gex that's weirdly funny, because he was just that, he was that smart ass lizard that said these little one-liners, but all these different movies. But the game platform was really good, and I remember like I was so excited to get Gex for the Sega Saturn because like it's a Sega Saturn. I can't wait. It's better than the PlayStation, and it was really good. But it was like it just Gex is just like you had to be there, you had to be in that era of Gex, and a lot of people were. But also when you go back and like kind of research it, you kind of love them because it's like it's so cheesy that you cannot hate Gex. If you dislike Gex, I gotta like say what else you don't like. You don't like puppies. You don't like flower. You don't like sunshine. Because it's Gex is pretty. Like I said, porn star JR says Gex deserves more respect. It really
when
does.
they announced Gex, did you guys think that we were getting James Bond?
I did.
I thought we were getting like some type of like 00. Because you remember those the 007 games that came out during the PS1 and N64 era? I honestly thought we were getting like compilations of that, and then they did the zoom out. I was like,
they got us.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, like, because everybody pretty much in this podcast knows who Gex is. Like, for them showing that's what they were doing with the trilogy. I'm not gonna lie, that's a character who will get canceled in today's modern era. So I was like, I was very shocked that they was doing that. So I'm hoping and praying that it remains true to what he was back in the 90s, because he was like a satirical, smart witty type character who was always referencing like movie and pop culture references. I hope they keep a lot of that. Don't tone them down, and I hope that it gets. Well, if it remains the same way that it was back when it first came out, I'm cool with that. But if it gets the Spyro or Crash treatment, I would still love that. I would still love that.
Amazing.
That would look amazing. Absolutely.
Hey, did you guys hear that we're getting Xbox One games through limited run games? They're doing
they finally got
collection.
Yep.
Jurassic Park.
They finally started to like do Xbox One games. That's gonna be crazy because I just bought this week I actually got 4 Xbox One games, and they were like 1 from a pawn shop and 3 from Goodwill. But I don't buy Xbox One games anymore, so these being kind of, I guess, limited, maybe I might start buying Xbox One games again. I don't have a Series X, but I still have an Xbox One X, and I might start buying just because of the quantity of I do enjoy limited stuff, but Xbox now has trained me like I don't need to buy the physical game. I don't know how do you think about that?
Well, like Xbox since 2013 have gone down the digital road. It was only because of backlash that the Xbox One took this. Remember the first announcement was this is a digital only, online only console, only console, and they fully went back on that. And you can tell that by the design of the case. Yeah, the case is on the disc is on the wrong side.
I hate that.
It's made like it was a last minute idea, and I think there's 5 different revisions for the actual style of case for the Xbox One.
The Xbox One was like the poor man's last ditch effort version of a DVR set box, or one of those cable boxes, because they were going in mighty heavily with all the TV type stuff. So we already know what happened with that. And with me, like what Steve was just mentioning, like I've already been preconditioned, especially with Game Pass, that if it has Microsoft's name on it, especially like Microsoft Studios or anything they own, it's going directly to Game Pass. So I'm like, man, I got more bills than ever to pay. So what am I gonna do? Is pay $70 and get a Redfall, just pay my $9.99, or if you get your Game Pass Ultimate, you're $15.99 a month, and have access to like a slew of new games that gets reset every other week or every month or so. So it's leading down to that point.
Fisty, he was talking about it. I looked at it. It is, look at the redesign. Like, this was the first, this right here, the first Xbox case. It just says Xbox. And then on the back of it, it says, if people watching at home, you can watch it on YouTube. If you're listening online, it says Microsoft. But then you come here with the new Xbox Series cases. It's all clean. It looks good. It's still the same green case, but it just, look at that. And then you turn it on the back. Right here, it's still like, look, it's just different, made different. So yeah, it does. The Series X case does look a little bit better, but they still open on the freaking. I hate that. Look at that, the wrong side. I just don't. This is so weird. That just throws me off.
On the inside, like, compared to say a PS3 case, it's just very completely different things. The 360 was similar though, like. The 360 has so many different case designs. So if you're going through like a 360 collection, all the spines look different. And I as a collector, I don't like that. I like everything looking, OCD and uniform. And
it does bother me. It bothers me so much. Okay, I might be the only one, but when I open it up, it's like I don't even want to play it because it's like it's on the wrong side. Have you felt that way, or is it just me?
I bought Xbox collections before, and I just can't get myself to keep them because I'm like, I don't want these games, and then I sell them and just keep the exclusives, and it's like, well, I'm playing them all on my computer through Game Pass anyway, so what's the point? I might as well just sell these games.
It is, man. It's crazy. Oh, and then you said the Xbox games, but they was talking about like River City Girls 0, which I got 2, but 0 is gonna be pretty cool. And then like let's talk about the way forward things for a little bit. Shantae. So they're making a new Shantae game. Is what would be like in the gap of the first Shantae and then like the third one. So I guess Shantae 2, whatever it's going to be. But I'm trying to find it. What was it called?
And it's going to be on Game Boy
Advance, in a Game Boy Advance a cartridge.
Oh yeah, that'll be cool.
That's crazy, right? A Game Boy, what, 30? What is Game Boy 30 years or 25 years? I'm old.
Yeah, we're coming up to 20 years, not 30 years.
Okay, so Shantae Advance Risky Revolution. Oh, wow, y'all, that's crazy.
I'm just looking at their website now. They've got a full 400-page PlayStation retrospective book that's coming out on the PS1. That looks pretty interesting.
And then, do you see when we were talking about earlier the Turtles soundtrack? I think they released one today, but over the next couple months they releasing all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle video game soundtracks. And I do want those. I ain't gonna lie, I really do want those. But I'm the only thing with like limited run right now, man, is like they're gonna take forever getting it. Like where's my other games?
You're still waiting on the collector's edition. Why would you buy more of the same game when they haven't sent the last one?
Dude, I know, right? Like, look at right here. Like, I'm on Limit Run site right here, right? So, look at this. They got Turtle soundtrack. So, this is pretty cool. And the cassette. I mean, how many people got cassette still, right? And then they got the CD, and then they got the LP. Like, this LP. Okay. When I was a kid, right, this cover freaked me out because if you look at Michelangelo right here, it always looked like it was one piece right here. It's his elbow and his fist. They redid this, but on the NES card, it was like all the way over to like this. It was kind of like that. and I was like, what's going on with his elbow? You know, like this is like the old school like comic book stuff, right? And I was like, why is it like this? It was just so weird. But this icon, but this cover is iconic because you know a lot of us played the heck out of this game. The water level in the diffusing the bombs messed us all up. But
I never played it, but I've heard how hard it is.
You never played this game?
Oh, it's notoriously difficult.
Dude, you gotta go play it, brother.
That was the game that dads give their kids who think that they're really good at video games and like.
That was the first game that made me utilize the NES controller as a nunchuck and slap my dad with it. So I have very fond memories of that.
Hey, Ness said Shantae is an unfinished game. They finished, I believe. Oh, that'd be good, though.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I want this soundtrack. I put a lot of the soundtrack in some of my videos, but this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles NES soundtrack. It's good, but like a lot of stuff with limited run right now, you know, I really do understand Physical Forever, and everybody does give them hell, and they take it because they know like their stuff is gonna be like 2 years before you get it, or you know. But the thing about this physical stuff from limited run is that I noticed if you say I've ordered all this stuff, right? Just order all this stuff, right? Say I just order everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff has to be produced before you get it. So if you order everything in one bunch, you could be waiting 5 years before you get all your stuff. Mm-hmm. I made that mistake with the Castlevania collection because everything was done, and then as soon as the Castlevania collection got finished, and like I literally waited like 2 years. I was like, gosh, when this stuff is coming in, you know? So now I notice that I just order things one by one because it's ridiculous. I don't want to be waiting forever on this stuff. Which I'm happy limited run is here. It just, and I'm like, and also too like now that they do the open pre-orders. Like I said, this is gonna be open to the 13th. So you to the 13th, you can get all three of these, and they're pretty cheap. Look, the soundtrack LP was $31, and you can get that. You can get red or green. I'll probably get the green one, but that's nice. I like that. You know,
the green looks nice.
The green does.
Like the open pre-orders is good, but there's so many more games now. Like you can't get everything you want. It's just otherwise you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like there's some people out there that would have spent close to six figures on limited run at this point.
The Scott Pilgrim
pre-ordered this January of 2022. No, 2021. Mm-hmm. Didn't get this until March of 2022. Well, yeah, pre-ordered in 2021 of January. Didn't get until March of 2022. So, just a PSA: if anybody's trying to order anything of limited runs, you're gonna be waiting for quite a bit, especially if it's like big bulk collector's editions like this. Or hell, even Steve was saying with that Ninja Turtles, he ain't getting that anytime soon, man. I'm sorry, brother. Like, that was the reason I didn't order, because I knew it was gonna like be ordered for quite a while. Man, so that was the reason I stayed away from it. I'm like, now I've gotten to the point, depending on what it is from limited run, I'd much rather to buy it off someone's secondhand, because I've been dealt dirty by limited run a couple of times where I'll just find it at a venue somewhere or like some type of game convention or whatever, and just pay like the upcharge because I ain't got time to wait.
I forgot.
The good thing about that, Mega, is a lot of retail stores sell their games for retail prices now. So you can miss the release, wait for it to hit stores and buy it for the same price. So like, what? And you save shipping too. You don't even have to pay shipping.
Oh, and funny thing is, because Limited Run has a partnership with Best Buy. If you like, say for example, one of those games that Steve pulled up, I think it was the Castlevania Advanced Collection. Best Buy will get their allotment in months before you even get your pre-order. So if you get a pre-order, like say today, and it's supposed to be a turnaround time for 8 months to a year, 90% chance that Best Buy will get theirs within 4 or 5 months after announcing it. So just in case y'all didn't know that. You can go on bestbuy.com right now. There's literally a subsection of limited run games, just so you guys know.
So I forgot. I looked at this right here, and it says it's still in production. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge Radical Edition, right? Look at this. I ain't gonna say crap, but I'm happy to have it. But I paid $200 for this thing. I happy paid for it, but I can't wait to look strategy guide. Look, what is this? A sale, animation sale, soundtrack. Stickers, which I got these stickers. I got these stickers in the other one. You get a limited edition Shredder. You get a steel book, PS4 And this, I'm probably not gonna open this because I already got the game.
Cool. That's really cool.
And then what's this? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge on VHS, and then personal pan pizza. I still ain't got my pizza stuff. I still have.
I wonder if that thing is actually gonna still be good to you.
It'll be expired before.
Yeah, like you get it. Oh, sorry, this expired in 2022. Like, God.
I can't wait to this, man. I cannot wait. I can't wait for this to come. I'm definitely. Oh look, this is a mini arcade replica movie. Okay, so look, for $200,
you get a lot of stuff.
You get a lot of stuff,
and it's gonna.
Like, God,
pretty sure it's gonna be estimated worth higher than that, like give or take, like 4 or 5 years, if that. So
yeah,
it's definitely an investment.
They're probably just waiting on like the CD or the toy to be made, and everything else is ready at this point.
Yeah, because the game is ready. I'll guarantee the game is ready. The shredder is ready. The shadow box, the stickers are ready. Maybe the what's it?
The steelbook would be like the backlogs. I know cards. They've announced anymore.
I would say it's a steelbook. Honestly, if I would guess out of like everything that they're showing, it's probably the VHS style. Is that a real VHS or is that like a replica?
No, it's a VHS style box, but I don't know if it's a real VHS.
Yeah, because if it's a real VHS, that may be what the holdup is. Because I know with the Scott Pilgrim, when I kept getting the email notifications, the material they kept waiting on. I can show you guys this too. Because there's a box that opens up. I specifically kept getting emails. I kept saying that this part right here. That set up. Hold on, if I can get to it. This thing was still in production. Like this whole little plastic piece, they were working on this, like a little flimsy plastic piece. So that's what was taking so long for it to come in the mail. It's like little mechanical parts to make the lights come on and off.
Somebody asked how long do they usually take to ship? Depending on what you order. Depending on what you order.
Depends on what you order, and by the grace of God, that's all I'm gonna say. and I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you order something right now, I hope you don't move within the next year because because guess where it's going? That address. So.
And good luck dealing with their customer service.
Oh yeah. Well, we can. I can go down a whole tirade on the customer service, but I'm gonna say that for another day. Like,
man, boy, that customer service is horrible. And I know I met the two guys before, and they're great. They're great guys. They're really great guys. But now they got so big, It's like the indie band in the garage, when they make it mainstream. It's not going to be like the same anymore. It's a business, and they're trying their best. At least they are keeping physical games on the map, and that's good. That's really good for the community. Just, I'm impatient. I want my shit.
Shit, you ain't the only one. It's like that commercial. It's my money and I need it now. It's like, it's my position. I need it now.
It's my money and I need it now. JG Wentworth. Is that what it is? JG Wentworth?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. That commercial, you've been watching a whole bunch of judge shows on TV or watching Maury or something. Hey Fizzy, do y'all have the commercials over there where you at?
I don't watch TV, so I don't get commercials anymore. I just watch YouTube and sport.
Okay, because so over here in America, right? It's this thing. I want to say just in the black community, but it's on black TV stations. It's like judge shows like Judge Jones or Judge Judy, what's the black dude? Judge Mathis, and then they had like Maury, and then Jerry Springer. All those are like, and it be on the local channels, and they're just like all day. like I would tell you say Judge Judy, yeah, and they all these judge shows, but then they put these they always had these commercials about I need to get my money, or these low end commercials, but they be had these stupid jingles that everybody knows. And like what's one with Shaq? The General. Insurance, general insurance and all that kind of stuff. Somebody said 877 cash now. Yeah,
877 cash now. Like, oh man, hey, look, some of those commercials was hitting though.
Some commercials are really good though. They were catchy. It did its job though. You remember them. You remember those things.
If you can remember from a commercial, the commercial did a really good job.
Yeah. 877 cash now. And they be had some good. And you remember, like you be sitting to be like, why am I singing this? They did a good job with the commercial.
Hey, if there's any Aussies watching the podcast, 1300-655506.
I don't know that, but that's probably a good one.
If there's any Aussies out there, they'll know exactly what I just said.
Okay. Hey, they said Judge Joe Brown. Oh, Judge Joe Brown I love him, boy. He'll be getting in these judge shows, right? It's a hold off topic. Here we go. We're talking about life, y'all. But these judge shows, they be so funny, like especially around the juries, and they be all day. It's like if you sick, they've been running for like 10, 15 years now, like longer than that.
Yep.
Yeah, longer than that. Because I remember, like, if you was home sick from school, you'd be watching the judge shows or you'd be watching The Price is Right, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then
what was the one? Jerry Springer.
Yeah, Jerry Springer. Yeah, you'd be watching Jerry Springer, and you watch it. Mm-hmm. And you know what?
The Jerry Hour.
Mm-hmm. And it was trash TV. Oh, here's another one. Judge Maybelline. Oh, Judge Maybelline still be doing her thing, boy. My auntie be watching those. Judge Maybelline, she be getting in folks' butt, boy. She be like, "Let me tell you something right here. You need to calm down and do it." Yeah, Judge Maybelline. I love me some Judge Maybelline, man. Yeah, like I said, rest in peace, Jerry Springer, man. Those trash shows, but they be so good. They just be so good. Then the commercials would be even crazier. It's like people now will, I said, would DVR those commercials. Back in the day, we record those commercials and stuff. Remember the commercials like on the cartoons where they're like, "Hey, after we be back after these messages," and all that kind of stuff. Remember those?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it'd just be toy ads for the next.
Yeah, we just toy a whole bunch of, or like on I remember the one on the Turtles and He-Man, like they had like, "Oh, we be back at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We'll be back after these messages." It'd be so good.
My favorite ones were after X-Men on Fox Kids every Saturday morning. Do you guys remember the chia? You remember those things?
Yeah.
It was like, I don't want one, but I want to keep watching the commercial for some reason. Like,
hey, the Chia Pet, like chia, and the Chia Pet, and then the Chia Pets, boy, was they had every kind of Chia Pet. Like you had do you know what a Chia Pet was, Fizzy?
No.
Okay, so a Chia Pet was this porcelain like sculpture, right? But inside the sculpture, you will put this like kind of goo or paste, and it will grow at like a fungus, and the fungus would be like his hair, and every time it grows, it go chia. Just look it up. It's so weird. But these Chia Pets, these Chia Pets are now cheap. They're like about $10. Like you find them like in drugstores, right? And the people watching right now or listening probably understand what Chia Pet was. Everybody had Chia Pets. That jingle chia. Everybody loved the Chia Pets, and they had like a figure, presidents, famous people, just random dolls, cats, all kind of stuff. You have to look at the commercial, and it's so crazy.
I just looked it up. They have Sonic the Hedgehog Chia Pets to where his quills. Yeah, I looked it up. Yeah, if you actually bring it up real quick, like show the audience. Like, let me find. Just type in Chia Pet Sonic. It's gonna be the first one to pop up. The quills that's on the back of his head. That's where the plant.
Oh my gosh, dude!
I know these things. Yeah, I've seen them before.
Here it is. For people who watching live on YouTube, y'all. Look at this right here. Chia Pet Sonic. Here we go. Right here. $21. That's actually pretty cool, though. I might order one. Look, it said will be released September 27, 20. I might order this.
Oh my god, we spoke it into existence. That's probably to coincide with Sonic Superstars. It's the same Sonic model.
So look, it starts like right here with the ball Sonic, but then the it would be cool if it was like blue. But look at that.
Blue playing. But that's still cool and stuff though.
No,
it is. So here's a Chia. Can I find the video? Let me put a Chia Pet video while we're doing this. Hope we don't get demonetized, guys. But here's a Chia Pet commercial right here, y'all. So we're gonna let's listen. Oh, it started back over. Here you go. All right, here we go. There's a new pet. Oh.
It's fun and easy. Soak your chia, spread the seeds, Keep it watered and watch it grow. And now grow a whole collection of fun chia
Yeah, those things were rampant back in the 90s and very early 2000s.
Did you then like eat the herbs? Is that how it works?
It's like some type of seedery that you put inside of it because there's like some type of soil, and then once you keep it watered, it's supposed to grow like regular plants do, as long as you like give it adequate water and keep it like in some type
in the sun and stuff. Yeah, man, them chia pets, man. I know my aunt had like 2 or 3 of them things, and I actually got one. I broke the chia, my grandma's chia pet. She was mad because they was expensive back then. Now they like about $10 to $20. Now you saw the Sonic one was like $21. Dang, I'm kind of order a Sonic one. I might get that one. I'm not a huge Sonic. I like Sonic, but that's pretty cool. And you see how they started right here, like on the commercial. Like, look how ugly they are. You know, like just they just fugly. Look at this. They got a Richard Simmons chia pet down here. Look, they got a chia pet Star Wars child. Then they got a Groot, Yoda. They got Michael Myers. Like, they got so many different chia pets. Yo, look, Alf, or Rick and Morty chia. Rick and Morty. What? Goodness gracious!
There is a Ninja Turtles chia pet to where the shell is the plant.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Makes sense. It's great.
They got a Deadpool chia pet. Look at this. Oh my gosh, it's $30. Dang, Ghostbusters for $32. Rick and Morty. I guess these chia pets got a little more.
That Rick and Morty one's pretty cool though. I like that one.
Yeah, I do like that one.
That's a pretty cool one.
Track.
So yeah. I guess chia pets are still going strong. Anybody in the chat, let me know. Did you have a chia pet? You know, let us know. You know, what kind of chia pet did you have back in the day? These things are like they're still going strong. Goodness gracious, for $19, $20, $30. Wow, it's almost like somebody saying about Beanie Babies or what was it? The Pops figures now. You know?
Oh yeah,
Beanie Babies are the modern Pops. That's for sure. They're on the way out. No one wants Pops anymore.
I'll be thinking that all. Thank you, man. I'll be thinking about it all night. So another game they was talking. They had the Limit Run conference, the Castlevania Advanced Collection. So what they're doing now is we go back and look here at Limited Run stuff. All the games they released before, you know, they had a Limited Run Castlevania collection. One big thing. Now they actually releasing it like separate. Look, they get on Switch, they got it on I said GameCube, on Xbox 360 or Xbox One. I love to say 360, and then PS4. And it says coming soon. So I mean, that's wow. Look at this on the Xbox. The Castlevania collection, physical edition
with the cases. Now, yeah, right there. There's
4 different cases.
Yeah, 4 different cases. So now, if somebody really wants to collect it, you have to buy it 4 times.
$140 if you want it.
Yep, that's how they get you.
And you know, a lot of collectors are definitely going to do that too. And I ain't gonna lie. I mean, just think about like each of these right here is going to be on like the Switch, PS4, and the Xbox, right? And if you a collector, I can say you're a true collector because that's stupid, but most people are going to like get all. It's going to be somebody who get like all of them. Just for the covers, because you don't know too. Like collecting it also is like, man, like if I don't get this, I don't want to pay this later on down the down the street. Like especially Switch. Like I think the Switch is going to be like really crazy. Like look at that. That's a cool cover. You know, everybody want those covers. And then like Limited Run, you know, they're going to like maybe sell the covers separate, but. Why would they do that? They're a business. They know people are gonna get all 4 covers in the same game. So wow, that's a lot. I mean, and look at it. That just to have those, Castlevania is popular. Look at this. You got the Rondo of Blood or Castlevania X for the Super Nintendo. It's on the Switch. You already got the history there. And then you got the Game Boy Advance ones, and it just. I mean, I got the Castlevania collection. I have it over here sitting over here. I had the digital, but it just.
If it wasn't Castlevania, no one would care about the variants, but because it's Castlevania, we're like, I kind of want all 4 of them.
And all 4 of those games nowadays will run you over $200. So they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
They're hard finds. Yep.
And you know what? Like we was talking about earlier, is, I mean, as a collector, I can justify it. I can get it, but like you got to pick out. Do you want one system? Do you want one game? Do you want one? That's the thing right there. And when it's going to come, you just don't know. You just man. I'm looking at it like I want all of them on the Switch, Xbox, and the PS4. But you got to be vigilant. You know, like, I got to pick one system, or got to pick one game, or I really don't have to get any. I don't have to get it because I got it. But they feed me into collector mentality. You know, that insecurity. Do you want it? Do you need it? You know.
You know how Nintendo are. It's like one moment the eShop is popping, the next day Thanos snap out of existence. So, for Nintendo stuff, like the Nintendo stuff will always be the most lucrative and popular stuff because as they've done plenty of times before, they won't give a damn to nuke their entire online infrastructure just for the sake of newer stuff. So, if you're smart enough, you would want to get the physical edition most assuredly.
I mean, you should get it. I mean, like I said, keep physical alive. I mean, you won't. And I always looked at my nephew. He don't give a damn. He don't care about that, but we do. You know, like me and my brother, we care about it. Y'all care about that stuff. So you know, somebody says rumor has it is there a SO10 remake happening. What's SO10? I can't remember.
Symphony of the Night.
Oh, Symphony of the Night. Ooh,
Symphony of the Night.
Well, they did. They did the Symphony of the Night on PS4.
Yeah, I got it right here. I think. Where is it at? I can't even see where it's at. I got something done PS4 games.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about.
But they didn't do it on the Switch, which was kind of weird.
Right here. This right here. They got this Castlevania Requiem, Symphony of the Night, and Rondo of Blood on the PS4. But the only thing bad about it is the original voice actors are not in it. You know, like, die, monster. You don't belong here. And then,
it was not by my hand. I was once again given flesh. Yes. I was brought here by humans to pay me tribute. Like, oh my god, voice acting at its prime.
That's why the PS1 version is still so expensive because if a lot of, I can say everybody, but a lot of people know about that whole diatribe back and forth. Everybody know about that. You're like, what is a man? A little miserable pile of secrets. What have they? What is it? But enough talk.
How about you?
How about you?
Yeah. He was like, oh damn, we should ready to get down to business.
Yeah, I know, right? He throw that cup like, what is a man? And it's so like, what he said, what Dracula says that, and that whole line is so freaking true. Like, what is a man? A little miserable pile of secrets. I'm like, oh, dang. He said, dude got bars right there, bro. Like, Dracula was like on point right there. I was like, what is a man? But they have the original voice actors in that back on. It probably, I don't know. Maybe they lost it. I don't know. But not to have it on the PS4, it's kind of like
might be licensing issues or something.
It gotta be a license.
There would be something because they would obviously try and get the original, and then we'd be all right. We can't get this, so we have to compromise with this.
Yeah.
That the original PS1 Castlevania Symphony of the Night had an Easter egg where you could play it in a CD player and it played the soundtrack or something off that.
I remember that.
Yeah, I did. A lot of games did that back in the day. It was one game that had a South Park episode on it. I can't remember what game it was. Well, if you put it in the CD player or put it in the computer, you can play a South Park episode. I forgot what game. Or it was a movie. It was one of those back in the day. That was back in the day when I was starting to get when Dragon Ball Z was like being shared on disc, and it was doing the Dragon Ball Z mix with Linkin Park and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So you'd be ordering that stuff on eBay. You're like Dragon Ball Z AVV. What was these called videos back in the day?
Oh, like AMVs and stuff like that.
Yeah, like in people in that Linkin Park video. Whoever made that one, that original one with Goku and Frieza and that fight and all that kind of stuff, that was the best like Dragon Ball Z mashup song video. Whoever did that was great. If somebody took that time and did that, that's like iconic. I ain't gonna play it here.
Dave. It was Tiger Woods 99 PGA Tour. 100,000
Thank you.
copies got out, and they recalled it because it wasn't meant to have South Park on the game.
Okay, thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
So it makes it even more valuable. So,
I knew it was. I forgot. Yeah, because so you take the Tiger Woods and you put it in your CD player. A really raunchy episode of South Park is hidden on the game.
Yeah, it was like an explicit banned episode. That was not.
It was an explicit banned episode because I think it was like Jesus is on there and Mr. Hanky or something. It was really bad. But I was like back in the day, like, oh, this is great. Tiger Woods. Okay, Tiger Woods.
You're like, what happens if I put my Tiger Woods game in the PC and South Park just starts playing?
It was.
Yeah, that is some outlandish stuff you think about it. Like, what correlation do you get Tiger Woods from South Park? You don't get it.
Yeah, it did. Oh my gosh. I hope I ain't increased the sales of Tiger Woods right now, but yeah, they used to do that stuff all the time. Sega Saturn was big on that. Like, you take the CDs and put in your car, and this was still flimsy, but you can listen to the soundtrack. I used to do that all the time. Like, as soon as I get a game, I'll pop it in the CD player on the way home, listen to the soundtrack, getting ready to play it. And I guess that's what he wanted you to do, but that's a big thing back in the 90s. That was just so good. Like, so many CDs did that, and people going back, I didn't know it did that. Like, the first PlayStation 1 had the it was the best PlayStation 1 for like if you really love audio, because they had a chip inside of it that enhances the audio. And every revision, Sony took more stuff out, but the original PlayStation 1 with the composite, or I always get composite component, had that outlet on there, was the best to this day. You can find that 1001 model. It works really good. Get that, because it's such amazing PlayStation 1.
That was a selling point in 1995. Like, at the time, the PS1 was the cheapest CD player on the market. Like, cheapest CD player. Then they did the same thing for the PS2. It was the cheapest DVD player. And the PS3 was the cheapest Blu-ray.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't the cheap. Well, I say PS3 say it wasn't cheapest, but it was pretty cheap.
What would you do? Buy a Blu-ray player for $400 or a PS3 for $499?
Dude, they was $1,000 here, man. Like, and it was slow they were slow. I mean, the first song I remember, because I was in Best Buy and I was looking at the Blu-ray player. I said, oh my gosh, I want this. And then the PS3 came out, and then they were like, it was $1,000, and the PS3 was like, what, $599. I was like, what do I buy? And I already like video games, so might as well buy the PS3. And then, that generation PS3 got its butt kicked by 360, but still, that Blu-ray format.
Who uses HD DVDs these days?
Nobody. Nobody.
I remember those red cases with HD on top of it. I was like, oh boy, these look amazing. Then Blu-ray came out and said, oh, never mind.
Yeah, somebody said Xbox 360 had a terrible. They had a terrible HD DVD add-on. Nobody wants that no more. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was pretty ugly, because I think it was attached to the 360 by like some type of cord, like a HDMI cord. It was like two cords, very big. It looked like it was putting the 360 on life support, honestly, because
it was, because it came with King Kong. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. Peter Jackson's Kong. Yep.
Yeah, it came with King Kong.
Yep, that's why I was always advertising it. Like, buy your 360 HDD drive and get a free copy of Peter Jackson's Kong.
King Kong, yeah. And I think it was at least about 40 disc release, because I was trying to get all of them. And now they just were like Betamax stuff. Nobody wants them, but you never know. I guess they may do it later on and get it, but it's just craziness. So
just about as much chance coming back as VHS tapes. So good luck to anybody collecting those things. Good luck, bro.
Good luck.
Still, VHS is the thing these days. It's getting really popular again. So
yeah, VHS is getting popular again. I don't know why, but I guess they grading VHS too. So
oh yeah, that's right. They are doing that.
So here we go, y'all. This is the great. Now Mega probably gonna take on this, because this is crazy. Microsoft finally getting the W, y'all. My goodness. FTC ruling in favor of Microsoft. They can go ahead and buy up anybody they want. And to add to this, as a Sony fan, I didn't give a crap. But as online, as Insecurities are, people acting like they have some kind of stake in box war, which don't got nothing to do with them. Sony friends just went crazy, lost the dang mind. Y'all, let's talk about this. Mega, lead us into this, brother.
Look, When what hasn't been said out or hasn't been said, man. Look, people on both camps was looking forward to seeing this thing we either get blocked or get appealed. I, for one, along with a lot of people, were just waiting for this thing to just get through and let's just get back to games, because it seems like a lot of people have been playing internet politics for companies that don't give a damn about you people for a deal that's not only going to affect how you guys play games. The only difference it's going to make is just, are you getting stuff to Game Pass, or are you going to still buy stuff for $70? But but on to the, I'll make it short and sweet. Microsoft.
No, talk about it. Talk about it.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk about it then.
Let's talk about it. Don't make it short. Get it out.
As everybody has already been known for the past year and a half or so, probably going on 2 years at this point, Microsoft has been battling out with good old crying Jim Ryan over the PlayStation Studios.
Jim Ryan.
And yeah, they were making a big fuss over how if Activision Blizzard was to be acquired by Microsoft, it will be doom and gloom for Sony. They just can't possibly make up any type of ad revenue by losing Call of Duty. They would be essentially what was that one company? They will essentially be like equivalent to Stadia if they were to lose the rights to Call of Duty. They were just throwing out everything within the kitchen sink to try to get them to block this deal. So fast forward until this past week, we finally get to the court hearings, and Microsoft, hey, look, they're no innocent child either, but like some of these tragedies they've been playing the last year or some change. Hey, look, they was making themselves seem like they was just like no different than like a mom and pop shop compared to PlayStation, but they were throwing themselves on the bus. They was like, look, Sony over there got better games than us. Like, only thing we got is Halo. Well, we ain't got Halo anymore. We got Gears. Well, people don't play Gears like that. Shit, only thing we got is Forza. We need Call of Duty, and we need it right now. PlayStation, they got too many bangers over there, so we need to lock this company down so we can actually get games to compete. Because Sony, we just can't compete with the Titan games they got over there. So we finally get to the court proceedings, and the judge, and they laid out their cases and everything, and the judge pretty much made it towards a point to where they didn't see how this wouldn't be a detriment to the gaming industry, so they went ahead and let it pass. And let me tell you, once that verdict came out, there was a lot of people who I didn't know was correspondence within like how the whole judiciary system works, but they was like handing out receipts and facts like left and right. There was people reading like 200-400 page documentations over why this should be illegal, over why this is unjustified, why this will be a detriment to gamers as a whole. It was insane. So many people was crying. So many people was making memes going back and forth saying this is why this person should be fired. This is exactly why you don't need to be in games. And like I was about to sell my firstborn and secondborn to make sure to pay tribute that this deal didn't go through. There was people saying they had dreams, literally dreams, saying that this FTC thing would get blocked and Sony will still remain champions. It's been crazy out here, man. One day after another. It's just, now we're settling in ground zero, just seeing how everybody's reacting to it. And yeah, I'm seeing a lot of hurt people, mainly on the PlayStation side, a lot of happy people on the Xbox side. I don't see why, because those motherfuckers don't play games like that much anyway. They play Twitter statistics, and that's about it. So I'm not sure why they're even happy about this. It's only just to fill their console game war list. That's the only thing it is. People are playing more lists than games nowadays. Shame on you people. If anybody's watching, you know who you are. I'm not trying to name drop anybody, but yeah, you know who you are. So yeah, that's a gist of what's been happening. So
I like to think there's some positives that will come out to this. So by Xbox owning Call of Duty, Sony's going to have to make a replacement to Call of Duty, which is going to bring competition. Yeah, they already own Resistance, they own Killzone, they own SOCOM. There's so many big IPs that Sony can take. Like, imagine a new SOCOM game in 2023. How big that would be! It would be huge.
God forbid if Microsoft actually tries to push Sony to be
innovative again.
Yeah, innovative and actually try to compete. It's God forbid that we want companies to compete so that way they can, fight for our dollar as opposed to, giving us the same rehash over and over again. Honestly, I'm actually glad it went through, because just like Figsy was saying, I really want to return to the days of like SOCOM, Resistance. MAG. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah,
MAG, that was a good one.
300 people online at once.
But that thing died. That thing, after the service died, that game just died a crazy death.
It did. There's potential though. There's
why?
potential for that though.
But I would definitely love to see Killzone. I actually like Killzone 2 is like one of my favorite shooters. Killzone 2 is still, you pop it into PS3, man. It's still good. It's still a really good game.
It still almost looks like that trailer that they showed in E3 2004, 2005.
Yeah, that real trailer.
That cinematic CGI trailer.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is the PlayStation 3. This is how it's going to be. I'm like, oh, it does look, and it's. People kind of skipped over Killzone because at that point we was already kind of, the Call of Duty effect kind of just sunk in. Call of Duty, because Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 2 is an amazing game. When I put in Call of Duty 2 on the 360 when I first got it, I was like, God dang, this game is dope. You like when you rush on the hill and your boat pulls in on the desert and you rush and you get shot at and all that kind of stuff. It's great. Somebody say, look, bring back Sam Fisher. Bring back
Splinter Cell. Oh yeah. Ooh,
yeah, Splinter Cell.
SOCOM. Remember back in the day, SOCOM, you had a little helmet, not a helmet, but the little
the earpiece.
The earpiece, and like he was like Bobby Brown back in the day, order stuff.
Kind of looked like one of those headsets that you would wear if you was like a telemarketer you put over your head. Like, thank you for calling 1-800 AT&T. How might I take your order? It's like, we were doing those.
Yeah, it was one of those, and it came. I was gonna buy a SOCOM headset in the box still, but when I opened the box, the headset kind of disintegrated. The fluffy ear part, it's like, ugh, I don't want that.
I had mine, it was the same, but it's age. They're all like that these days.
Yeah, they're all like that now. Yeah, I hate when somebody says Killzone was supposed to be a Halo killer. I hate when somebody's supposed to be something killer because it never ends up that way. It just enjoy what it is. Like Killzone was different. Resistance 2 is good. It's like, okay, here we go again. All the 2 like titles on like PlayStation 3 were good. Killzone 2, Resistance 2, Infamous 2. Infamous 2 was
Uncharted 2.
Uncharted 2, yes. All the 2 games were so good. Uncharted 2 was the beast. Oh my gosh.
Best of the
Uncharted, bro.
It was second. I did a what's the best PS3 game? Uncharted 2 got second behind The Last of Us.
Oh, really? Okay,
I remember that.
I can see that. I can see that because it's so good, man. What other 2 games? I mean, just now we're looking back on the PlayStation 3, that era. Xbox 360 got a lot of love and deservingly so. But now, if you go back and look at like some of the PS3 games, they can't be matched, man. They're unmatched. Like a lot of the RPGs. If you got one game running on a PS3, then running on the Xbox 360, sometimes it runs a little bit better on the PS3. Sometimes not. I don't think
sometimes it's better on the 360, like Skyrim
or Bayonetta. Bayonetta, I think, runs better on 360, the first one. But it is that time of the 7th generation was so like not hit or miss. It was like it was different. It was like coming out of the CD Nintendo Tank Dominant era, and then like here's the rise of the 360, or here's the rise of Xbox. Here's the Sony's like, what's happening? What's going on? They messed up with the PSP and then the Vita and then the PS3. All that, like, who was over it at that time? That I forget who was over that, but it was just a lot of missteps with that PlayStation generation. The Xbox was just killing it. We're coming out with Gears and coming out with what else? Halo. Halo 2 was like the 2 game. Halo 2 was a beast.
I specifically remember in the first 3 years of the 360, the timed exclusives like Oblivion, BioShock, Mass Effect, stuff like that. Like those games. I mean, they eventually came to PS3 like a year or 2, sometimes more later. But they were like staples within the 360 library because they got them first, and it was touted almost like it was exclusive. Like when BioShock came out, but that changed the industry, bro. BioShock, well, 2007, and I don't know if I ever went on like record saying this, but 2007, that's like one of my favorite years of gaming ever. We got BioShock, the first one, the first Mass Effect, Modern Warfare, the first one, Halo 3, the orange box with all the Half-Life stuff like that. That was a year of like.
Xbox also put out Xbox Live first. They did achievements first. So
you're
playing on Xbox because that was the place to be.
And then the marketplace.
The marketplace, especially like the one you remember the original 360 dashboard that had the blades. That was my favorite one. Like every other iteration that came afterwards, I mean, it was cool, but nothing ever beat those dashboards for me, man. I love those the little blades. Nothing ever beat that for me.
So hard to find
Ken. Oh, and somebody actually said it was Ken Kugaragi, and they said it made him step down because of all the mistakes of the PS3 era. Well, I don't know. Yeah, because I think he stepped down right after the PS4 era. Because I remember his last video was like, "This is how you trade a PlayStation. This is how you trade on a PS4," and they gave it to each other. Yeah, that killed Xbox. That right there was like. Xbox.
That was the biggest flex in video game history, in my honest opinion. Like you can't come back from that.
I don't know. Remember the PS2 announcement where they killed the Dreamcast? Where they just walked on stage and went $199 and then walked off.
Oh yeah. That's up there to you.
Mm-hmm. I actually bought my Saturn doing that, and when he said $199, I was like, really? Why I just bought a Saturn? But also too, I knew about how better 2D fighters, because I'm always a fighting game fan, so I always knew fighting games and 2D stuff was always better on a Saturn. Like Mega Man 8, Mega Man X4 was so much better on the Saturn. You know, Virtual Fighter.
The Saturn version of Symphony of the Night, I heard that one was very superior compared to the PlayStation version, but we never.
It was okay. It was okay. They had fixed a lot of it now. It's 10 times better now because all the patches and people back and redid it. It was good, but it was still exclusive to Japan. But I did import it, and it was like, oh, it was good. It was good. It just wasn't as. It was like when I when I bought Mischief Makers. I remember buying the Japanese version. I'm like, how do I figure this thing out? But it was still good. It was kind of like that for me. But yeah, man, that generation. I just remember that.
I think the PS3 at the end of its generation really came in strong. Like, if you look after 2010, the PS3 had so many good exclusives. Like, we got The Last of Us in 2013. The 360 was gone at that point, you know. And the PS3 best game came out then, and it kept going. Like, we got Tokyo Jungle, and they still put out Persona 5 on the PS3 in like 2016. You know,
they did. They started to figure it's kind of always like that. I look back at the each last generation, I guess with all generations of these systems, but I just noticed it more on PlayStation. Like the end of PlayStation 1 cycle, we started getting a lot of good stuff. PlayStation 2, remember God of War 1 and 2 came out the end, and they really figured out the PlayStation 2 system. And then PlayStation 3, you're talking about Last of Us, Metal Gear Solid 4. All those masterpiece games are like at the last 2 to 3 years of that life cycle, but they figured out how to and then again, PS4, God of War again, they figured out the hardware. So it seems like the best people tripping out like we ain't got good games. We ain't got good games yet because people ain't figured out everything. Like people still haven't figured out the PS5. A lot of people still haven't figured out the Series X. A lot of people haven't figured this stuff out. We're barely scratching the surface. When Spider-Man 2 comes out, look how good Spider-Man 2 is. People don't know. So
Final Fantasy 16 is a good point. Like, it's the first game that's actually tested the PS5's limits. Like, some boss fights in that game, your system turns off. And I'm chatting to people, and they reckon it's the most insane boss fights they've ever done in their lives.
Not to spoil it, but one of the boss fights on Final Fantasy 16 had the temperature from my room go from 75 to 78. And I was like, damn, bro, I feel so toasty in here. And lo and behold, I felt the back of my PS5. I said, oh boy. Wow. Not to spoil it, but this fire boss is literally making my room fire. So I don't know if that's was done on purpose, but it's doing it all right. It's doing its thing.
I guess that's Slim. I guess a rumor that Slim is coming next year, or I'm not Slim, but Pro coming next year, because they definitely gonna need to beef the system up because the way these games are, I never had to decide what games I had to take off or leave on my system until I got a PS5. Like, do I take this off? I actually go, and I still went and got a extra hard drive to put in my PS5. And I'm like, okay, what do I delete? Like Call of Duty, when I first got that was like almost close to like
250 gigabytes.
Yeah, I was like, it took it's not like now hours to load.
It's up to 300.
You got the battle royale mode. It's like 500 gigs.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's 2/3 of your SSD right there. For that one game.
For that one game.
Well, if you own an Xbox Series S, you can't play it. It won't fit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
How crazy is that? Like, a modern system doesn't even fit one game.
Oh, so you have to you will have to wait. But the Series S, you can use the proprietary SSDs for that, right? Or is that only on the Series X?
I'm not too sure. Sorry.
Oh,
but that's
like
the case.
some of these games, like I'm looking at now, like Ratchet and Clank is 50 gigabytes, which is good. I'm just going back and see what gigabytes now. All right, so this right here, Spider-Man, it's 105 gigabytes. So what you think Spider-Man 2 is going to be? You know, like
wait, but was that just Miles Morales or was that the
remaster? Miles Morales.
Oh, just Miles. Oh, damn.
Miles Morales, yeah, Miles Morales is right here, and also too you get well, it says includes Spider-Man Remastered, so but it says 105 gigabytes. That's a PlayStation. Let me see anything else. Everything here is like this is if y'all can get this is a kind of exclusive. Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition on the PS5. It's not many out there, but it's 90 gigs. Man, I'm just saying anything else 1 gig, 65 gigs. Ghost of Tsushima. Somebody was talking about in the comments, which is really a really good game. What else? 735. Okay, I haven't opened it. Last was part 1, 79 gigabytes, but that's still a PS3 game, you know. What else is on here? That's 12. Sonic was 26.
It's like compression rates for games nowadays is like kind of crazy because I always look at like Nintendo games. It's kind of like I guess like a bar to be set when it comes to like certain games. The fact they was able to get something like The Witcher 3, I still think that's some black magic that they was able to get The Witcher 3 on like a Switch cartridge because that was, if I remember correctly, that was like a 50 gigabyte game or something like that on PS4 when it first came out, and they put it on that tiny cart. So and
all the DLC too, which is like games and
and the DLCs, so like I always find it more fascinating when Nintendo does stuff like that because like putting all that data on like that tiny cartridge, buried in like 2 of your fingers, like I've always been fascinated with technology like that.
So Final Fantasy is 100 gigabytes. What else?
Oh, it's funny you mentioned that Final Fantasy.
Oh my god. Okay, why is Shantae Risky Revenge? Okay, no man. Okay, my bad. It's 172 megabytes. My bad.
I was gonna say megabytes.
I was about to say somebody didn't learn compression rates in school because boy, that's type of thing you put in your PS5 was like, I got an explicit episode of South Park and Rick and Morty on here, like.
But those little games are the ones I love. Like I'll never delete a game that's 100 megabytes because you can have 100 of them on your PS5.
Nah, but when Steve brought up that Final Fantasy VII remake, that made me remember when Square Enix announced the Final Fantasy VII what was it called? Rebirth. They said that's gonna be 2 discs. So I'm like, well, damn, what is that going to be then? If we talking about dual layer Blu-ray discs now, what 2 Blu-ray discs?
The one Steve just showed had 2 discs. The original Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah, but one was a data disc.
Yeah, like they're marketing. Well, we still don't know what they mean by like 2 discs, but the way they market it is making it sound like it's literally on 2 discs, like 2 Bluray discs. Not one
so
data
you're
disc.
gonna like play through the first chapter and then it'll be like
insert disc 2. So I'm like, damn, what is on there? That is cool though. But I'm thinking like, I'm wondering what the back of that box is gonna say. That's gonna say like 350 gigabytes plus. It's like, oh damn, a heart. Hold on, I need to get rid of some games, bro. That's too much.
So going back to like,
maybe they delete content as they go, and like, I don't know. Who knows?
That's the thing. We gotta find out. It comes out next year, so hopefully they clarify exactly what they mean by that.
So going back to going back to the Microsoft thing we talking about. So this is kind of good for the community, or do you think this is good or bad for the community? Because like at the end, Microsoft is buying up all this stuff. Now, is this going to start a chain reaction where people are going to start buying? Who's going to buy like Squaresoft? Who's going to buy Capcom? Will this turn into like, well, you need our box to play this or what? Because I am not really scared because I'm a gamer. I want to play. If I want to play something, I'm just gonna buy it and shut up. I'm not. I need PlayStation. I need Xbox. I need Nintendo. I will have my favorites, but I'm not like, what? I don't have to play it. But do you think it's gonna start like what do you think the future of this is going to lead to?
I reckon so at the moment, Nintendo very separate themselves from the other companies. Like Nintendo AAA games, you can't buy them on other systems. Average AAA game on PS4 and Xbox both get released. I think it's going to go down the road as Xbox is going to have their games, PlayStation will have their games, Nintendo will have their games, and it'll be a very small amount that get released on multiple systems.
Yeah.
For me, I think I think we're gonna start. Well, right now, I think we're in a interesting time when it comes to just how these companies are just acting and acquiring stuff. Because now there's a lot of talk of, since this whole deal is going through, the gaming industry is gonna more so try to consolidate everything. On one hand, depending on the studio, like if they were to buy something like, all right, like Bethesda, for example, I'm actually kind of glad that they bought them, because a lot of their games, especially like Bethesda software games like Fallout, stuff like that, they can actually use the extra manpower resources that Microsoft can provide to technology to actually make those games better. I'm hoping so for Starfield. But stuff like Activision, the only reason I was like really okay with that, because knowing that their bread and butter is like Call of Duty, it's pretty much almost the same thing every year. I mean, being able to play every Call of Duty, that's a yearly title every year for about $10, $15. I mean, that's already a benefit on its own, right? I think studios that can actually use better acquisitions, that maybe like a single A or double A studio that can actually utilize that, I think that's good. But at the same time, I don't want to see stuff like, oh, Microsoft or Sony acquires Ubisoft, they acquire Capcom stuff, because now it's going to get to a point where it's arms race, and people have already talked about it now, to where, oh, well, Sony should counteract the Microsoft Activision deal by buying Capcom. I'm like, man, why is everybody so trigger happy just buying this stuff? It's like, because the only thing it really does is just, it stifles competition, because now if PlayStation owns Capcom, all right, now all Capcom exclusives go to PlayStation. All right, where's that leave Nintendo stuff? Because a lot of good Capcom games come to Nintendo. So it's like, I don't hope it gets to the point to where they start lapping everything up, to where now it's, if you want to play Call of Duty, it's only on Xbox. If you want to play the next Street Fighter, it's only on PlayStation. You want to play this only on that, because that's not how the industry grows. If anything, that's what kind of puts us like in a stalemate, because that's what takes away creativity. That's what takes away a lot of free will for these companies, for these studios to do what they want. So that's just my little spin on it. So it can be a positive or a negative, just depends on how you spin it.
And then also too, Game Pass is increasing in price. Earlier in the chat, Ness was talking about, they sent him after the ruling. That's kind of messed up. The Game Pass is going to go like what, $16, $17 a month more. I'm not more, but I don't know what it is now. But I think I got like a couple more months on there before I have to start paying again. But yeah, Game Pass is going up, and I haven't used Game Pass in a while. It's just there. It's like a gym membership. I haven't used
it. He says a gym membership. It's really, I pay for it every month, but I don't use it.
What's that, Fizzy?
There'd be a lot of gamers out there that would just rely on Game Pass 100%. Like, they wouldn't have games like us. They just pay that subscription. And then if the price goes up, they really haven't got a choice. They can either keep playing their games that they've got save files in, etc., or not have them anymore.
And this was Microsoft. This is what Microsoft wanted at the beginning. At the beginning of the Xbox VCR era, this is what they wanted, and they kind of got it. They wanted all digital future, and like I said, so right here, Jason said Game Pass is the catalyst into all digital gaming, and I'm not really scared. It just like, and this will lead into our next topic, about games being lost over time. Like if we go into all digital future, the Game History Foundation is talking about a lot of games. 80%?
87.5% of all games have been lost.
So round that up to 90. Let's go ahead and round up to 90%. It's 90% of all games from before 2010.
So that's a lot. Yeah, and they had a good point. It was like these game companies or whoever will work with these like lobbyists and stuff to stop this, but they will say, well, if people can get the access to these games, nobody will buy games, which is a freaking lie, because they were saying like, well, do people stop buying books because books are free in the library? And
the way books are set up is books are all archived by the library, so media isn't lost. And the rules behind video games and copyright don't allow any libraries or anything to do this.
Copyright laws.
Video games are just getting disappeared. I watched a video that the Completionist did about this topic, and he talked about the Game Boy Advance library. And it's less than 10% of every game on the Game Boy Advance library you can go and buy today on Nintendo Store or the PlayStation Store. Like 90% of an entire library is not available today. And that's only a system that was released in the 2000s. What about stuff that came out in the 90s and the 80s? Like, it's already gone.
It's already go, and Nintendo controls that. And before too long, we got a taste of a couple years ago. The PlayStation gonna shut down that PlayStation 3 store. Then when that stuff is gone, all those PS3 games, all the PS2 games, all the PS1 games are gone. Because really, I mean, some of them are you can play them on the PlayStation 5, but you can't really play it. It's always the top tier titles. You know, you're not gonna play like the Game of Life, or you're not gonna play like a old Tomb Raider game or something like that. You know, you don't get that. You know, yeah, you got your Tekkens and you got your Street Fighters, and then you got just other stuff on there. You know, like Gex, or not even Gex, because Gex is coming back, or Star Wars or something. But those little games that nobody play about. You know, like Intelligent Cube. You know, I think that's on the PlayStation 3, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't play that. It's a good puzzle game, but it's an expensive game. It's like a $50 game. A lot of people don't want to spend over. A lot of people don't want to spend over $10. A lot of people cheap, but still, I mean, when you're paying $50-$60 for a game that was made 20-30 years ago, and you can buy one right now, it's like Super Mario RPG. A lot of people are not going to pay $100 for a cart, but it comes out on a Switch. Then you can get access to it, but then it leads back to we were talking about insecurity in gaming. There's some people who own the box copy that and it's sitting on their shelf. Oh, my game ain't worth nothing. Well, sorry, things like that happens.
I always say on the PlayStation Collectors podcast that it doesn't matter what the game is. Every single game is someone's favorite game. It could be the worst game on any library. It's someone's favorite game out there. Someone had that game as a childhood, and that's the only game that they played, and they absolutely loved it. It doesn't matter the game. And these games are getting lost, so it's sad what's happening.
And what's funny is like I'm always bewildered by Nintendo's like complete ignorance when it comes to like just emulations, because the main reason why emulations pop off the way they do is because a vast majority of like NES, Super Nintendo, N64, so on and so forth, a lot of those games are available for modern consumption, and so they just look at it as like a way that they're kind of impeding on like their IPs and stuff like that, devaluing their franchise, they call it. It's like, well, no, if you actually made these games available on your digital platforms to people will buy it. That's the reason why there's so many different emulations going around, because you're not supplying them with what they want. And then because it even showed with like when the Switch first added the Game Boy Advance and the Sega Genesis library, stuff like that. There's a lot of people excited for that. When they announced that during those Nintendo Directs, like people actually went and bought those memberships, because like the Nintendo expansion pass, the one that's like $50, add on to whatever you get for the yearly subscription. People was actually going out there actually buying it because they were supplying them with the games they actually wanted. So just seeing all these games just disappear, just kind of, honestly, it kind of pisses me off, because there's like a bunch of there's like a lot of my favorite games I grew up playing came before 2010, and just seeing that like, and just seeing that they're not available for these modern audiences, just like the titles are there. Like there's plenty of games out there that you can make money off of. Because we was actually talking about this at one point. I don't think it may have been during this podcast, but I was telling people that if they stop making games right now, like if all games cease to be developed right now, I'd be cool, because there's like plenty of games I can go back from like 5, 10, 20 years ago that I can still play.
After that backlog.
Yep. The backlog. Oh yeah, the whole backlog.
We got a whole backlog. Goodness.
Boy, it would give people the time and the patience to actually play their damn games as opposed to buying stuff. So, but then again, I'm one of them too, so I can't really speak on that too much.
No, that's you right about that, man, because we got as collectors, and most collectors are listening in and tuning in here live, and also on your favorite podcast app, that we got too many games. We got enough games to last us for the rest of our life, really. And we don't need all this stuff. Sometimes it's just we want this shelf candy or something. Don't tell somebody, a collector, that you just a shelf candy collector. Oh no, I need this game for research. I need these games for this. Like, I mean, really, do you? Because we got the internet. You really don't need it. I mean, just tell you just want it. I mean, it's nothing wrong saying that you want this, It just going back to, again, insecurities in video game collecting, guys. We got a lot of it going on.
I was about to say, like, to add a little more onto the top before we leave it, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but like especially a lot of modern games nowadays, they feel like jobs. I don't know if you guys have felt that way for a while now. Like
they do
on jobs. They you can buy one game and that's literally like a 40, 80-hour work shift week. And then you put into and it's like, all right, well the new season comes out. It's like, well, damn. Long gone are the days where you beat a game. It's like, well, that's it. Ain't gotta touch it anymore.
The 5-hour game is gone.
On the front cover, you're going to be collecting stuff. You're going to be running around and climbing up towers. It's the same thing, and it's just a different reskin map. And same guards. Maybe they got a couple of animals in this one that you got to skin, and you got to skin them all. And
well, a lot of them have become chores to where now it's like, if you're gonna pick like a few games to play, you better make sure you're gonna stick with them for the long haul because they're gonna try to squeeze every penny out of you with that. Like Diablo 4, I put 120 some hours into that, and then they're doing like new events. So when you be gaming, it's like it literally becomes a job.
You do.
I would argue that I'm playing Tears of the Kingdom, and it doesn't give you doesn't tell you what to do. You just practically go out and do everything yourself.
I love games. Yeah, I love games like that. Yeah, they don't. There's an objective, but it's not like. Oh, let me go back to the shop because they have like a special deal going on for these potions. They only last for an hour. I gotta go there. Oh, there are these waypoints set. Well, I guess I should go over there. Look at this cave. It's just once you get into that world, just do what you want, build what you want, play how you want it. So, I found myself getting into more games like that lately.
It's a good experience too. I'm absolutely loving it.
Look at that. I got here's a young lady said, I got about 20 games I really want to play, but I don't have the time. And someone said exactly, some games might be crowd version, or like TC says, Red Dead 2 took forever. Yeah, Red Dead 2.
Boy, Red Dead was when I was playing that was the equivalent to watching the movie Roots like 6 times over. But when I was playing that, I was like, man, what? No, because like if you y'all play Red Dead, like it's a really good game, but when you get to the epilogue, it's like, damn, this is still going on, man. Like I'm done with this.
I'm still playing it. I've been playing it for 6 months, and it's kind of like the game I play when I want to have a break from other games.
When what call it? Well, I gonna say, but when a certain person, dies and it goes on again, I'm like, I thought that was the end, but it's like.
With games like Red Dead, I think because like that's an amazing game. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely one of my all-time favorites. But by the time you get to skinning your 40th Jaguar, you're just kind of ready for it to be done, man. Because I appreciate the animations, but after a while, it's like, man, there's only so many of these I can skin. Just looking like, wow, that's great attention to animation. But I'm ready to be done with that. Like I need about another 30 of these to make the legendary pelt. So come on, let's get a move on, bro.
Just think about GT 6. Sorry. I'm sorry. What you say, Fizz? I'm sorry. I talked to you.
I was going to say, if you get to that point in a game where you just want to get to the end, do you finish it or you put something new in? Because I'll put something new in. I won't finish those games.
I put something new in. I would say Valhalla did that to me.
Oh, you play? Oh, God bless your soul, bro. You played
Valhalla did it to me. Also, man, I said, man, F this game. I'm just man, because I said, okay, the brand new take. I kind of like Vikings a little bit. But I like this thing was like just grinding to get on my nerves. I just took it. I think I broke that disc because I was just so frustrated. I just flung that disc across this. I was like, I hit eject. I said, F this game. I was like, woo, that game got on my nerves. I hate Valhalla now. I really do.
But here's a rule of thumb for anybody playing any modern day Assassin's Creed game. That might as well be your second relationship because you ain't finishing that anytime soon, bro.
Oh, they long.
I think Ubisoft has gone up with this because the next Assassin's Creed game is only going to be a 20-hour
Mirage,
they said that. Yeah, it's going to be a 20-hour game. That's good, though. We don't need all these, and it's going back to what it was, I mean, how many times when you first got Assassin's Creed, it was amazing. It was like the Matrix, old school, going back, assassinating people, and then jumping off the building to the hay and all that stuff. It was cool. It was like, jumping back, like, oh, then 2 did it. Then 3, and I'm like, okay. Then 4, then Black Flag was okay. Black Flag was okay. But then everything else, I was like, oh, Odyssey, and God dang it, Valhalla, and how he's like, oh, they become like Madden.
Where they changed the combat because it was just mash X, and then they turned it into all right. You actually have to time your hits and different things like that.
True.
200 hours of the same stuff. It's like, please, just give us something new.
And what's funny is like every at least in my opinion, every Ubisoft game after 2016 has felt the exact same way. It's like once you play the Division, and do you play stuff like Rainbow Six Siege, Wildlands, freaking Far Cry. It's like you can tell those are Ubisoft games because all of them have like the same layout and structure. Like
they so long.
Well, one game it took me like a year and change to beat was Far Cry 6. It's not even that long of a game, but it's like so much like random stuff you gotta do out in the world. It's like, man, it becomes tedious. I hate tedious games.
But I go back and say Far Cry 3, when I played that, I didn't put it down because at the time it was amazing and I'd never done these things before. But, you know, by the time you get to Far Cry 6, you've done it for 10 years and it's not the same anymore. But they're great games, but they're ruined because of how often that they're put out, once a year, you know.
Mm-hmm. When we go back talking earlier in the podcast about, you know, just video games and stuff, you know, creation and all that kind of stuff. And, what you call it? It says, "Yep, lazy recycles." You know what? I think the industry, and I'm not a game developer, so I can't be too harsh about it. But anything really nothing been really new. Like people are scared to take chances, and I understand because like big budget titles and stuff. If you take a chance and fail, it can like destroy a company. You know, like look at Redfall. I mean, I ain't say destroying it, but it just people. You need to be on your game, and I really think since COVID happened, a lot of that stuff has been like down the toilet. And I don't know if it's resources or people just tired or people are scared, but it's not really really good stuff. One thing I kind of see, and I'm biased on this, I will say, Street Fighter 6 is kind of really reinvigorated like the fighting game genre because they went back and made up for the mistakes of the past, especially 5. 5 wasn't bad. 5 got good to the end when they started getting everything in, but you know, put new stuff in. Remember Hi-Fi Rush? Hi-Fi Rush was a amazing game. You know, that was really good. We don't have innovative games no more like we used to. You know, like we want those innovative games. Remember, like the beat 'em ups with the classic like Turtles and Battletoads. I know somebody here don't like Battletoads. Battletoads was like different. You know. Just we need innovation. What do y'all think about it? Has innovation stifled?
I think it's gone to the point that game companies now in their meetings will be like, we don't even want to make a new game, a sequel. Let's just remake an old game because we know that Last of Us, for example, we know that it sells. We're not going to take any losses. It's risk-free.
And it's sold too. The remake I just showed, it sold so much, and people was talking so much trash about it. But they were right? They it sold. It's so good. And then on top of that, I still haven't watched the last of the series, but the HBO series took off.
There's people out there that think the video game is based off of the TV series.
Boy.
Okay, I like that made me laugh because I was like, you know, I really, yeah, it is like that. It's almost kind of like when you said that. How kids who play Fortnite think this comes from Fortnite. I saw a video that says kids who play the Fortnite think Fortnite made Transformers. I'm like, really? Y'all really? But you can't blame them. But it was like
it's a generation of younger gamers. If you introduce anything to them in like Fortnite or Roblox, they automatically assume that that the game is what made that character. Like I remember there was kids, I never forget this. When Halo Infinite came out, I remember I went to GameStop the morning after it came out, and there was some kids in there trying to buy V-Bucks or whatever. And then they had like a big stand of Master Chief behind the cash register. It was like, oh, that's the man from Fortnite. I said, oh boy, we finally reached this pinnacle. We reached this point to where
there's a song by Estelle, American Boy, and there's a Fortnite version of this. And my old roommate's son's like a little kid into Fortnite, and I showed him the original song, and he's like, "That's the Fortnite song."
The Fortnite song. Oh my gosh,
these kids.
You can't blame them because like it's what they got introduced, right? You know. They don't understand. They don't see like they're looking like a cart game. Like, what is this? I had some of my commendates like they never heard of Earthbound. I'm like, oh okay. And it goes back to what you said, Fixie. Like somebody's worst game is somebody's favorite game. It's kind of that same concept. We're so sometimes stuck in our own insecurities that we think what we play is the best thing and everybody should have played it. But as I go on this, especially doing YouTube, it has helped me realize that just because I like Mario RPG, not a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people haven't even played Super Mario RPG and they don't like what. So Nintendo re-releasing this, and it's pretty cool. Going back to that, Nintendo's last year, I guess we should assume this is the last physical year of making games. They're going back and making like this, redoing their old stuff and getting money. And like Metroid came out, they brought Kirby, but they redid Kirby, and they did do redid Kirby on the Wii, but they bring out 2 Kirby games. Shoot, they brought like 4. Matter of fact, I remember this many Kirby games coming out in over 2 years, because they did that like a eating game, that ice cream eating game, whatever it was, that little racing game, and then they did the Forgotten Star, which that's so good. It's Kirby and the Forgotten Land. That's amazing. Then they just brought the re-release from the Wii, and then like Kirby's on the eShop and or the Nintendo Online. So it's all that kind of stuff. It just, they bring it back, and Nintendo's last year has been like bangers. Like, look at what they're releasing, like a new Super Mario Wonder. Oh my gosh, the animation style in that game looks so good. I can't wait. And then Mario RPG, then they just bring it out. They bring it all the heavy hitters out, and they're not even heavy hitters, And it's like
killing it. I would argue that the new Pokemon titles weren't the best.
You said what now?
The Pokemon releases from last year were a bit rushed.
They were a bit rough.
I would say, and to add to that, I realized something about Nintendo in the past 3 years that a lot of other developers have not been doing. They are masters at showing things. Well, besides Zelda, they are like masters at showing stuff when it's ready. Because when you think about it, since the Switch has been out, when have they ever announced again? Well, minus Tears of the Kingdom and Metroid Prime 4, I don't know what the hell happened with that. But besides like those 2 games, what other games can y'all name in recent memory that they've announced? And it's like, oh, this is 2 years away, 3 years away. It's like, no, usually when they something, it's
they announced the Sudoku 1 and 2 remake, and we haven't heard anything about that since.
Yep. But that's not Nintendo.
That's the only one I can think of.
Oh yeah, and then Metroid Prime 4, which they backpedaled big. I know somebody got like 40 people got fired for that announcement. It ain't ready. Get out of here.
Who made this JPEG? Get him out of here.
It's still on Amazon. They just kicked them out. Like, kicked them out the window. Like, oh, it's over with. Nintendo don't play, man. But they have this generation. They really did master that. Because when something's ready, and then it's like 2 or 3 months ready. So they like, oh, we ready. Like Pikmin 4. Like Pikmin 4 is coming out soon. Like, I'm not a Pikmin fan at all, but it's a lot of Pikmin fans out there, and they are super excited. So many good games and stuff. Nintendo,
new Mario games coming out this year. And
so many Mario games came out. That Mario movie, like, I saw that thing like 4 or 5 times.
those Mario games this year, I'm predicting they're probably gonna reach Tears of the Kingdom's number easily.
You think
that
so?
That Mario movie, if they were smart enough, they probably should have released the game closer into release with like the movies. But Nintendo fans still buy stuff regardless if it releases and coincide with other stuff. But yeah, I honestly do think with how successful that movie has been, that's easily going to translate into like holiday sales figures, because that game comes out November, October, like late October, early November. So Black Friday sales, stuff like that. So it's
coming out the same day as Spider-Man 2. That's how confident Nintendo is. They said Spider-Man 2, we got Mario, which if you look at it, that's gonna sell more than Spider-Man 2. I can't say that, but
I say so, because
if I was to buy one day one, it would be the Mario one, because I know that Spider-Man's going to be a $15 game in 2 years. But Mario is going to be a $60 game.
I would say honestly, like let's be real. Like most everybody's going to buy both on day one. But if somebody says I got to bet on which one outperform the other, it's going to be Mario. Like without a doubt.
Oh yeah.
Like without a doubt. The install base is already there. The movie came out that did record-breaking numbers, and that's going to carry all the way to the end of the year. So that it already has everything going for it. So.
Oh, and then somebody said that the new Princess Peach game coming out, and then Luigi next year, Princess Peach, Luigi Mansion, some other stuff coming out. They got all the big franchise like Luigi Mansions 2 mentions. I'm black. We add S's to everything. So Luigi Mansion 2 is coming out. Megan know what I'm talking about. Like black folks, we like, yeah, give me some of that cereals. We add S's to everything. But no, it's gonna
I can relate. Aussies like abbreviate everything. So
that's what we do, man. Yeah, black folks.
Like, yeah, we're going down to Macca's to get a feed.
Hey, man, that's funny as heck. But we do, man. Like especially black people in the South, S's on everything. I hear myself talking like that. Like, oh, hold on. We just do that stuff. Like we add S. Like, look right here. Say D. We do right here. Look, D. We do. He said, "Visit Jesus. Do start collecting every game in the world. Your backdrop is gorgeous. It's ridiculous." But yeah,
we 60 degrees in here.
It reminds me of that one YouTuber. You probably seen him because he does like movie reviews. That's kind of what it reminds me of. He has like a slew of like different DVDs behind him. It's like nothing but a wall of different movies behind them.
I started streaming upstairs, and I'm like, I need to get a green screen for a backdrop. And I'm like, I got a collection downstairs. Let's just bring the computer down here and use that as the backdrop. So that's been my great upgrade.
Easy fix, yep.
That's everybody's like first YouTube backdrop is like, hey, look at my games back here. I try to do a little different over here. Like try to add stuff and try to keep it changing and stuff. Like the PS5 you see in the background, I try to just change and stuff. Matter of fact, no wonder. Yeah, see, try to change it. I'm sorry, trying to change everything back in the background. So just speaking of Fight Forever, so look, I just got Fight Forever. Have anybody played that on here yet?
Not waiting for a price drop. How is it?
It's good. It's decent. It's a really good game. A lot of people.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You go ahead, Steve. What are you saying?
No, a lot of people who review it and wanted it to be like up to 2K's level, which is not. It's like just a high. It's like an HD version of a No Mercy. It's really it's kind of bare bones on some stuff, but it's still fun. Now, me giving it like a 9 and an 8, I will now go back and say I probably say it's a good 7 if I really think about it. But it's good. I mean, it also is going to be updated with different things more and more. So I really do think the game is like amazing. I love the game. I mean, but I like wrestling games, and I'm a big AEW fan, as you can see right here too. So I think the game is actually pretty decent. Yeah, I will wait for a price drop, before you grab it, but still grab it and play it, because
we're lucky with wrestling games these days. In the last 2 years, wrestling games have gotten good again. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I was hearing decent things about AEW, but I was hearing good things about AEW, but I think the main issue that I saw like reviewers and some of my friends who are playing it say like it's lacking content.
Yeah, it is.
That's like the biggest issue I've seen. So it was like it's good, but like once they start adding in more features and more matches, because I think one of the main issues like there was a particular match or a couple of matches that wasn't in that one that they had in like the old school ones that they was really hoping was going to be in it. I was hearing that was like the main issue, but once they start adding more content to it, then it'll be worth more bang for the buck. But definitely wait for a price drop though.
So let's talk about right now. It's saying like all the games, this kind of what we was talking about earlier, but the games from before 2010, are being lost to time. We kind of talked about that. But next, what about these games hitting landfills? What's up with this? Is ET all over again? Mega, you talked about this. So you lead this chat for us, my brother.
Yeah, I did some research on that, and this was actually a topic that Ness brought up when we was in the group chat. But there's a lot of games that's being deemed as not repairable. So stuff like older systems, I believe a lot of cartridge games, stuff like that. There's individual pieces that's in them that's being deemed irreplaceable or non-fixable. So a lot of them are just being trashed out and like put in landfills. So the main issue is, of course, since they're being deemed as not being able to be fixed, a lot of them are just ending up like all over the place to now where people are just finding. There was a video I saw like last week. This one guy, he found a bunch of I forgot the name, floppy disks. He found like a bunch of floppy disk games of like what's that one game called? Monkey Island. He found like a bunch of those. Oh. He found like NES cartridges. Like he found for some reason he found like a bunch of Fester's Quest like NES cartridges like out somewhere in landfills and stuff like that. And the only issue was in the US, how our cartridges are, it's kind of like very elongated. It's about like this long. Like the top hinges that you push inside the NES, that was broken off. But that's something that you can easily either fix yourself or not even use it. The game still works, but you just put it inside your NES. So like little stuff like that. And this actually goes back to like something we talked about a couple weeks ago, like GameStop dumpster diving. It's almost become like a renaissance of like that all over again. If you can find the right landfill. But mind you, it's called landfills for a reason. So you're gonna be in there for quite a long time if you're trying to go landfill dumpster diving. So yeah, that's been a point of contention. Just a lot of games that can easily be fixed just wind up in landfills. So
it's really sad. It's not just video games. Did you guys hear what Funko did last year? Or
they burned out on Funkos.
It was like $10 million worth of stock because they couldn't afford to pay the rentage of the warehouse. So it was better for them to discard of it all. Like, imagine going back to the 80s. We know about E.T., but what other video games got destroyed in landfills? There's probably more of them.
Funkos are dead. I mean, I'm glad I stopped collecting that mess.
That's like a waste of plastic. Think about it. That's a waste of plastic.
People say the same thing about games too, but yeah, Funko. That's another. You want to talk about insecure collectors? Oh my god, Funko collectors. Oh, is it in a box? Is the box crooked? Is the box got a little dent? Is the plastic scratch? You know, like is the window?
The box being open?
Are there actually still Funko collectors out there trying to get each and every individual Funko Pop? Oh my god! Well,
I knew some serious ones, and all of them have very slowed down, and they just collect like certain. I just collect Dragon Ball Z, or just collect Mario and things like that.
Yeah, I can understand that, but like to collect each and every individual number one from one to God knows whatever number up to now, I think that's insanity. That's nothing short of insanity right there, because that's. Ain't no way that you're fans of every single one of these things. Like, no, that's just not possible.
They make Funko about everything. Like, it'll just be an average TV show on Netflix. Next week, there's Funkos available for it.
Well, I knew when they started making Funkos of restaurant mascots, I knew we reached a whole new low. I was like, boy, who wants a mascot of Grummus, the Hamburglar, all this other stuff?
The Hamburglar.
Like y'all want pops of these? Like, nah.
Grimace. Grimace. Hamburglar.
Magic School Bus, bro.
Grimace would be pretty cool at the moment.
Hey, Grimace got a new game out, bro. What you talking about? They got a Game Boy Advance game out. I didn't get that. They got a Chicken McNugget, little handheld, a Tetris handheld. I want to get
that, and it comes in the box too.
Yeah, I want to get that. I get this one in Japan, I think. I want to get that, man. A Chicken McNugget little thing.
Oh my god, Chicken McNugget.
Oh my goodness, y'all.
It's in the shape of a big nugget. It's so cool.
It is, right? Well, yeah, y'all. We're gonna get rid of, we've been going along. This has been a really good podcast. 2 hours, 30 minutes. We've been having fun. We talked about all the topics. Sorry about the whole first hour. I gotta get that out. But if you're a collector, you probably understand. Insecurities and collectors has been really, really crazy. You guys,
it's gonna continue, bro. It's gonna continue.
Yeah, no. Want to thank Fizzy from the PlayStation Podcast, man. Hey, tell everybody where they can find you.
I'm over on YouTube, Twitch. We're on Trends now, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere that you've got social media. Type in Figsy and my head will pop up.
Yeah, hey, on Threads now. And Mega, where you going, man? Brand new house. How you enjoying your new house, man?
Everything is good. I've been slowly working on like 5 different videos at once. So sorry about the wait, everybody. But I made a promise to myself that next week, all those videos I'm working on, just every other day, just cranking out videos. So
was 2 videos a week.
Yes, sir. Was busy getting all situated, but now it's done. Wrote all my scripts. I got a very hilarious review of the Raw Guy Live come out, so I can't wait to share you guys with that.
I can't wait to see it.
I'm not sure if Figsy's seen in my videos, but some of my I usually start them out with skits. I think I went all out with this one, bro. So I can't wait for y'all to see it. I'm ready to get back in this video grind game. But yeah, you can find me at Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and I think I'm gonna try my hand at TikTok because I got a few ideas with that for some of the things I've been seeing trending around. So right at the moment, those three, but TikTok coming soon. So appreciate it again, guys, for doing us tonight. Appreciate that.
Well, cool. And also, hey, like I said, this ain't gonna be the last time you see people on here physically. You're welcome back anytime, man. We love talking to you, man. It's fun. And also, y'all make sure to check his PlayStation podcast out. It's on all podcast platforms. Make sure you like and subscribe here to YouTube. Make sure that you catch the podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms, The Right Way Podcast. And guys, always remember to do